August 25th. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, if you're looking to purchase some local items, they're going to make it nice and easy for you this morning. Ainsley McPhail is live at the Outlet Mall. She's going to tell you about this event that happens in the markets outside in the parking lot. It's called the Summer of Locals Market. It's the last one this season, so you get to check it out and see a lot of local businesses and support local. We're going to show you some of those throughout the morning, but first, your headlines. Are the bugs on the way? Trap watchers say recent rains could bring a new surge in mosquito numbers. Washington on edge, the arrival of the National Guard as a crime-fighting move enters a new phase this week. And another trophy for Brooke Henderson, who notches a big win at the Canadian Open. Bringing in Terry now.
Okay, come on.
Not happy about the bugs coming
This is
back.
late in the season for a new batch.
Yeah,
like, fine for the stragglers that are still hanging on, but a new batch.
Well, we got some rain, obviously,
Yeah,
and then are we getting some heat? Because that's usually what they need.
Well, that's exactly what we will be seeing throughout this week, so I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised. I'm not surprised, I'm just annoyed. Let's put it that way. All right, 6 degrees right now. That's a cool start to the morning. Survive that. Mosquitoes. Winds, they're out of the west, 7 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 97%. And yeah, cool below seasonal temperatures to kick off your morning. Throw that extra layer on if you're headed out early. Later on today, it will be a very pleasant day. We'll see some sunshine. The clouds that we're seeing right now, not too many of those. A little bit of scattered precipitation that we're seeing through parts of northern, central Manitoba. Looks like it kind of rolls close to us later on into the day. I don't think we're going to be seeing much in the way of precipitation. Well, actually, the models are showing that we're not as likely. There's one model that shows we could get clipped with some possible showers. So just keep that in mind, the possibility of showers. Other than that, some sunshine. And really nice temperatures will take us to almost seasonal values today. But in the days ahead, it will warm up continuously so. And plenty of sunshine expected through this week. There will be a little more precipitation, again, moving through most of northern Manitoba, especially in the northeastern part. That'll be on its way for tomorrow and into Wednesday. For us, some sunshine. 22 today, 23 is now normal for this time of year. We will get above that, or at least remain seasonal or above through much of this week. So yes, sunshine and warmth. We'll be back again.
Thank you, Terry. Mosquitoes may be making a late summer arrival in Manitoba. Recent rains mean mosquito larvae that have been dormant for most of the summer could spring to life. It's been a relatively mosquito-free summer so far. Average insect trap counts have been low, with a maximum average of 7 insects per trap. It means Winnipeg's insect control branch hasn't had to do any fogging this summer, but with at least 6 weeks to go in the mosquito season, that could change.
The soils are getting saturated, and it's leading to more standing water than we've seen. And it's, definitely our main nuisance mosquitoes, Aedes vexans, is active right up until snowfall, so the season's not over yet.
David Wade says because there's been no fogging this summer, as a result, the city now has a stockpile of fogging chemicals, which could last another 2 to 3 seasons. Mark Carney made his first visit to Ukraine highly symbolic on the nation's Independence Day. Meeting with President Volodymyr Zelensky, he revealed new details of where exactly Ottawa's financial support will go, while also discussing security guarantees. CTV's Abigail Beeman now on the Prime Minister's pledge and the possibility of Canadian troops on the ground in Ukraine.
But Putin can be stopped.
Prime Minister Mark Carney was the guest of honor at Ukraine's Independence Day with a message of reassurance for Ukrainians.
When that peace comes, and it will come, that day will come, Canada will be there.
The Prime Minister offered new details about the $2 billion promised to Ukraine at the G7, money for ammunition, armored vehicles, and drones, including made-in-Canada drones, some equipment arriving next month. Canada will pay for a $680 million NATO-requested package of American military equipment, and there's $31 million in humanitarian aid. And at a press conference after the speech, he was his most specific yet about Canadian commitments for security guarantees in a ceasefire.
We are working through with our allies in the Coalition of the Willing and with Ukraine the modalities of those security guarantees on the land, in the air, and the sea, and I would not exclude the presence of troops.
And that should encourage Zelensky, but at the same time not discourage the United States. but also sends a strong message to Russia that they can't do what they're doing.
The two leaders signed an agreement, and Zelensky said he was grateful to Canada and Carney, especially for drones, which he said are the #1 priority, helping to save lives on the battlefield.
Our European allies, Canada, are coming together, recognizing that they're going to have to do much more to support Ukraine in order to achieve that elusive ceasefire and hopefully an eventual peace deal.
In his speech, Carney referred once again to what he calls U.S. President Donald Trump's transformative leadership, and he invoked another American president, Ronald Reagan. Carney saying with Russia, it's now not just about trust but verify, but now it's deter and fortify.
Police in Toronto are now asking for the public's help identifying a car that may be linked to a shooting that killed an 8-year-old boy. These images show what is believed to be a white Acura. Investigators have not said how they believe the car was involved or where and when it was last seen, but anyone with information is asked to come forward. 8-year-old Javé Roy was killed by a stray bullet while lying in bed with his mother last Saturday morning. There's been a major escalation in U.S. President Donald Trump's so-called crackdown on crime in the U.S. Capitol. As of last night, U.S. National Guard troops patrolling the streets of Washington, D.C. will begin carrying pistols and rifles. Hundreds of unarmed troops have been on Washington streets for the past 2 weeks after Trump declared a crime emergency in the district. Trump has also hinted at deploying troops to Chicago and Baltimore. Democratic lawmakers have condemned the plans and accused Trump of attempting to manufacture a crisis. Engines revved on Saturday morning in Headingley as riders gathered for the 4th annual Manitoba Highway of Heroes rally. The Manitoba chapter of UN NATO Veterans Canada organized the rally. Motorcyclists followed the stretch of the Trans-Canada Highway that was designated as Manitoba's Highway of Heroes in 2012. Organizers said the main keyword is remember.
The lifestyle that they have, the society they have, is because of these people who serve. I'm not saying go and thank every veteran you see or every member in uniform, but appreciate what they've done for you. And know that it is because of them that you live the life you do.
Last year's rally raised more than $2,800 for the Homes for Heroes Foundation. The foundation provides transitional housing and support services for veterans across Canada. This year's rally will also raise funds for the planned Winnipeg Kinsman Veterans Village, currently in the design phase. Hundreds gathered at Assiniboine Park on Saturday for the annual Walk for Pulmonary Fibrosis, a community event raising awareness for a disease that makes breathing difficult. Organized by the Canadian Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation, this year's walk carried extra weight as wildfire smoke continues to affect air quality across Manitoba. Organizers say the event helps people feel seen and supported.
They said that it's like being with family, like they don't feel alone, that for once they're in a group of people that they don't have to explain what this rare disease is, and that, you know, they can just enjoy and be themselves. As we've learned more and more about this disease, we've realized that there are some families that it runs in their family. And so we're here to support them, to say that we are here to walk every step of the way.
The walk included family activities, free lunch, and a call for better access to medical oxygen, something many patients rely on to breathe. Ed Sheeran is going a little bit more acoustic.
I used to love you, now every day I hate you just a little more.
Sheeran filmed this unplugged version of his latest single in Mexico. The original music video for A Little More features Rupert Grint, who you know as Ron Weasley from Harry Potter. Sheeran's 8th studio album, Play, will be out September 12th. Brooke Henderson has added another Canadian Open title to her trophy case.
The comeback is complete for the Pride of Canada.
The Pride of Smiths Falls, Ontario, birdied the 13th and 14th to pull ahead of Australia's Minjee Lee. Henderson ended up shooting a 4 under 67 to win the CPKC Women's Open by 1 stroke. This was the second time Henderson has won Canada's National Women's Golf Championship. The win was also her 14th LPGA title and her first victory in more than 2 years. Here's a look now what's happening along the Norwood Bridge. Things are picking up or moving well, still not picked up in this part of the city, but overall looks good over here. If you see any problems out on the streets, please let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley, who is live at the Outlet Mall this morning, and there are markets supporting a local business. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. I'm at the Locals, Summer of Locals, and please see how hear how I said summer of Locals. We're still in summer. They've got one more market left at the Outlet Mall. They had 5 this summer. 80 businesses are going to be present. Within their store here, they circulate through hundreds of them, and 30% of the businesses that are at the market this weekend are food vendors as well. So everything from mini donuts to Filipino eats. They do have things like jewelry there and other handmade artisans. Throughout the morning, we're going to be chatting with some of those local businesses. So important to support local. And at 7:27, we're going to be hand making some flower arrangements that you can do inside your home. Back to you.
Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. How does it feel out there this morning, Terry?
Not like summer. Yeah, I understand Ainsley's surprise there. But by as early as tomorrow or the days ahead, there's no hesitancy saying, yes, we are still very much in summer, because the temperatures throughout this week will be on the rise again. But I'm standing out here this morning, and it's a cool start to your day, 6 degrees, and I'm here in the dark, which makes it that much worse. The sun won't even be rising until 6:33 this morning. The northwest winds on the lighter side, just 6 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, and that humidity sitting at 99%. I was checking out my rain gauge. It looks like, I mean, this would be over the course of the weekend because I dumped it out on Friday, but it looks like we got about 3 millimeters of rain over the weekend. And again, that's kind of, oh, you can't see. It was at like a 45 angle, so I'm not sure it's 100% accurate. Anyway, we're not likely to see too much this morning, although I will say there's the possibility maybe later on today of some showers passing through. Brief, not amounting to too much. We'll get nice temperatures today, nice-ish. I mean, it's cool starting out, but 22 degrees is where we're headed today, and that might seem cool, but 23 is normal for this time of year. After today, we'll be surpassing those numbers with warmer temps ahead. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather is brought to you by Destination Dinner Stage, Manitoba's only musical dinner theater.
Morning. Some Canadian businesses have been expressing relief following Ottawa's pledge to remove retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods. The plan is to remove tariffs on goods covered by the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement by September the 1st. CTV's Jeremy Chiron has more on the ongoing trade war.
It's here Canadians will likely feel the most relief come September 1st. In the aisles and at the checkout counter, Canada's decision to drop retaliatory tariffs could be noticeable.
It's been tough. Last few months, some of the companies that we buy from are from the U.S. or bring their products in from the U.S., and the price difference was just crazy.
The move for Margot and James means increased costs, which she says had to be passed on to the consumer, can be reduced again.
I can't wait till that happens. The next order, I'm hoping they'll have adjusted the prices at the companies so I can adjust my prices.
But this small store is just one example.
50% of small businesses in Canada actually import from the United States. So retaliatory tariffs have a real impact on many of them.
The Canadian Federation of Independent Business applauded the government's move to drop counter tariffs, but called for it to be a first step.
What we believe the government needs to do is, of course, try to get the best deal possible as quickly as possible. But in the meantime, they have collected a lot of tariff money. And so that money should be returned in some format to affected businesses.
And the move hasn't come without criticism. In a statement, one of Canada's largest unions, Unifor, said it undermines Canadian workers and weakens Canada's bargaining position in an escalating trade war. Some experts have said it could help negotiations.
By lowering these tariffs, that's a big olive branch that the Canadian government is offering to the United States administration, and that's really critical at this time.
When pressed on it Friday, the Prime Minister offered this.
Do you have any assurances from the Americans that this will kickstart negotiations? Did President Trump specifically say that in his conversation with you?
Yes. The Prime Minister has indicated Canada and the U.S. have agreed to intensify trade talks, but there is still no indication on a timeline for a deal, which means uncertainty remains the biggest challenge for businesses. Jeremy Sherrill, CTV News, Ottawa.
There was relief for some people living in Conception Bay North who are now home after being forced out by wildfires.
It was nice to step inside the house, but it was very eerie coming down the road. There was 5 vehicles with us, and we just like we were coming into a ghost town, like there was no life here.
More people from Perry's Cove have now been allowed to return, almost 3 weeks after they were told to leave. Evacuation orders are being lifted in stages, with officials saying some of the harder hit communities will need a lot of cleanup before people can go home. The Kingston fire on the northwest shore of Conception Bay has destroyed almost 200 homes and structures. New children's books with African Canadian voices have arrived at a Winnipeg elementary school. Bibi Ukonu, a local publisher with Griot's Lounge, donated 4 children's books written by African Canadian authors to a little free library at Chancellor Elementary School in Waverly Heights. Ukonu founded his publishing company 5 years ago after noticing a lack of representation for African Canadian immigrants. He says the journey hasn't been easy.
When we started, we were like, especially I was in doubt, like, do we have that much authors, African Canadian authors in Canada? But the numbers now are so overwhelming that we are now having to go through these manuscripts to be sure of who we are to publish, the quality of the writing, the quality of the literature, how they interpret the community here in Canada, and also a whole lot of factors.
Ukonu says he chose little free libraries in schools so children can easily access the books, read them, and begin to understand these stories. A new basketball court is now open in South Winnipeg, giving residents in one of the city's fastest growing neighborhoods a new place to play and connect. Eaglewood Park in Waverly West officially opened its regulation-sized basketball court on Saturday. Designed to host tournaments and league games, the court was built with input from local organizers. City Councillor Janice Luke said the response from families has already been enthusiastic.
I was talking to one mom earlier. She says she's probably more excited about this than her kids because she doesn't have to drive them to other basketball courts. They're just excited that it's in their neighborhood, right? We've got such a huge population of children here and youth, and to be able to come out and just play basketball anytime.
Local MP Terry Duguid praised the collaboration between federal and municipal governments. He also shared a hopeful message that the next MVP in the National Basketball League might just come from Prairie Point, starting right here on this court. A mega hit Netflix film that had special screenings in cinemas this weekend reached #1 at the box office.
The world will know you as pop stars. But you will be much more than that.
Netflix brought a sing-along version of its movie K-pop Demon Hunters to more than 1,700 North American theaters. It brought in an estimated $18 million US. That knocked horror thriller Weapons into second place with $15.6 million in ticket sales. Freakier Friday slid to third with $9.2 million. Here's a look at what's happening at Kenaston and Sterling Lyon. Look at that gorgeous sky, and the street looks like it's moving well as well. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you see problems, let us know, please.
Yeah, the sunrise will be pretty stunning this morning. A few clouds that'll be lit up all the colors. 6:33 is official sunrise, so we're just seeing the morning glow at this point. Through the Bathfitter Live Eye, Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. There will be some sunshine today. There's a few clouds out there right now. There's cool temperatures to kick things off. It's certainly starting to feel like we're in a change of seasons. However, I will just put everyone's minds at ease saying there's still plenty of summer left. The temperatures that we'll feel through most of this week will remind you of that for sure. 6 degrees, yeah, it's a cool start to your morning when you compare that to a seasonal low of 10, but even colder than us right now. Brandon coming in at 4 degrees, 5 at the moment in Melita. So many places are just in those, well, it looks like almost all of us are in the single digits this morning. We've got Swan River coming in at 10 degrees, a little bit warmer along this western border up into northern Manitoba where we've got Flin Flon and the Pas. 13 degrees, some of our warmest temperatures that we're seeing this morning. 3 degrees in Thompson, so certainly our coolest temperature that we're seeing on here. The possibility of some showers, maybe brief, very passing moment, but overall there will be some sunshine to enjoy, and with that sunshine will come at least a little more warmth. No, it's not going to be a hot day by any means, and it certainly wasn't over the weekend. Cooler temperatures there, but we might warm up a little more than we did this weekend. So here's our midday temperatures in the high teens, low 20s, and around 22 degrees is where we'll top out today, when 23 is a normal daytime high. And right up into northern Manitoba, you can see those low low 20 temperatures, or at least the high teens, so similar right across the board today. But I told you it will be warming up. 26 tomorrow, 25 midweek, seasonal 23, but then back up above it, so slightly warmer than you might expect for this coming weekend. Out in Austin, Manitoba, a couple double rainbows making it look so good. Thanks to Rebecca for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break right now. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Good morning. Ottawa's Pride Parade was cancelled Sunday after a pro-Palestinian group disrupted the event, calling on organizers and the city's mayor to meet their demands. CTV's Natalie Van Roy reports.
The group Queers for Palestine Ottawa blocking Ottawa's annual Pride Parade Sunday afternoon, bringing the festivities to a halt.
We had staged a disruption of the parade to say our demands to both Capital Pride's executive director and board of directors, and to the mayor. We were looking for apologies from the mayor in particular for boycotting last year and for encouraging other powerful institutions to boycott the parade.
The group halted the parade to demand the apology from not only the mayor, Mark Sutcliffe, but also other organizations that pulled out of the Capital Pride events last year when organizers issued a statement condemning Israel.
The mayor said he would not come up and talk to us, and even when communicated that the parade would then disperse if we didn't move, he still refused to come up and talk to us.
In a statement, Ottawa's mayor said in part, "It's deeply regrettable that a group of activists chose to block the parade, ultimately leading Capital Pride officials to cancel the event. My heart goes out to the many people in our city who were deprived of the opportunity to participate in this celebration of joy, resilience, and community." The parade traveled from City Hall along Elgin to Wellington Street, where it was halted by protesters at O'Connor Street.
I am sad I didn't get to march, but I'm definitely way sadder for the people who are experiencing a lot of hardship over in Palestine, and this is a way to get a really good message out.
Speaking before the disruption, Capital Pride's executive director said they were excited for the new route in front of Parliament.
We're really excited that we're reclaiming Wellington. It's a really important place in the 2S LGBTQ plus community for protest. We've got a lot of really important victories won through protesting.
Before the parade was halted, Mayor Mark Sutcliffe said city officials were happy to take part again. Organizers said 175 groups and more than 6,000 people were registered to take part in the event. Natalie Van Roy, CTV News.
All right, we're taking a break right here, but first, after that, we're going to tell you about Ainsley's Live, which is all about supporting local at the locals market. Stay with us.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Minutes away from sunrise officially, but boy, does that ever look gorgeous out there. 6 degrees right now, northwest winds are 6 clicks. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 99%. And that's sunrise, honestly. So 6:33 is official sunrise time, but I mean, that is looking absolutely stunning out there. The extra clouds always make things look a little more dramatic. No worries about that is what I'm trying to say. But with those clouds comes the very possible chance that there could be some scattered showers tucked in there as well. There will be plenty of sunshine today, and while 6 degrees seems cool this morning, 22 that we're expecting for later this afternoon is very close to normal, 23. That would be a seasonal daytime high. And the winds, they're on the lighter side. They'll stay very light today out of the west, just 10 kilometers per hour. Overnight, still with those very light winds, partly cloudy conditions and dropping down to 12 degrees. For tomorrow, even warmer yet. We'll see a little more sunshine and 26 degrees. That will come with a stronger wind, though, out of the southwest, at times gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. A little bit of a breeze, but from there, temperatures staying pretty much seasonal or above throughout the rest of this week, with 23 being normal for this time of year, but many days will be a degree or 2 or 3 above that. Looking pleasant for the coming weekend with lots of sunshine in store.
Thank you, Terry. Winnipeg police say a man is facing charges after a violent robbery attempt at a grocery store. Officers were called Saturday evening to a store in the 600 block of Stafford Street. Police allege the man punched a security guard before trying to leave with stolen meat products. They say he then pulled a knife and attempted to stab the guard, but left empty-handed. The suspect was arrested a short time later and is facing robbery and other offenses. Police say no one was seriously injured. Air Canada's flight attendants will start voting on their tentative agreement this week.
It's really, food bank wages and, make people to a living wages. So there's a lot of, angst that's being expressed by the flight attendants.
The deal is said to include incremental pay hikes over 4 years and limited pay for work done while the plane is on the ground. Multiple flight attendants have told CTV News they plan to vote against the agreement, saying the wage increases are not enough. Voting is expected to start on Wednesday. Customers affected by the strike could be in for a long wait for compensation. The Canadian Transportation Agency says its air travel complaints backlog was at about 85,000 cases on August 14th, 2 days before the strike started. Rail safety experts are issuing a warning after video surfaced showing a young man riding on a moving train in London, Ontario. Now advocates are warning about the rise of similar illegal incidents across the country. CTV's Brent Lale has the details.
Video shows a young man testing out the speed of a moving train in downtown London. Moments later, he returns and jumps on the side, riding it for a few meters.
They were taunting the train, basically, tons and tons of heavy metal, and they were touching it and playing with it.
Christopher Bogle is often the eyes and ears in the city's core. He took out his camera and started recording.
They saw me filming. I even yelled out to the one guy, "You want to lose your leg or what? Or your life?" And he thought it was a joke.
The incident is the third notable one involving rail in the past week. A person was charged with surfing on a Via train in eastern Ontario. Then in White Rock, BC, video showed a woman and multiple children crawling under a stopped train rather than waiting.
Our mission at Operation Lifesaver is to try to get to zero. So 0 crossing incidents, 0 trespassing, 0 deaths, and 0 injuries. And unfortunately, we have some work to do to get to zero.
According to Operation Lifesaver, rail trespassing incidents are up 46% this year over the historical 5-year average. Serious injuries related to rail trespassing are up 250%. A CPKC spokesperson says fines could reach up to $50,000. And climbing and riding train cars and other equipment is both illegal and extremely dangerous. A month away from Rail Safety Week and just days from Western University students returning, safety advocates warn against trying to impress friends or gain social media clicks.
With Frost Weeks happening, we know that southwestern Ontario has a ton of rail and is a hot spot for incidents. So we are reminding people to do their part to stay safe by staying well back and staying off the tracks.
As for Bogle,
this is almost a deja vu a few years ago.
It was then when he witnessed a woman carry her child over a stop train at this same location. Both incidents could easily have been fatal.
When he did jump off, you could tell he sort of slipped a bit, and that would have been it.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
St. John's Park welcomed people for a picnic for the 25th time. The 25th annual picnic in the park took place Saturday afternoon. This year, organizers partnered with Sakway Festival to bring live music to the event, celebrating Indigenous culture and artists. Free lunch, resource tables, and bouncy castles were available. The event's organizers shared their excitement about the new partnership.
Sakway Festival reached out to us, and we were so excited when they did, because they're an organization that celebrates Indigenous music and culture, and that's such an important part of working in the North End, is really celebrating Indigenous artists or Indigenous life and culture. So when they reached out, we were just like 100%.
Newman added the picnic's growth has been exponential. Organizers now expect around 2,000 people to attend each year. Viewers in Cambridge, Ontario were treated to a rare sights show with some pretty spectacular furry friends. These dogs and cats are among the best animal actors in the country, according to the Ultimate Stunt Dog Show website. The cast of rescued animals all perform different tricks, and Ultimate says their unique personalities is what makes each trick so special. They're so cute. Here's a look at what's happening at Confusion Corner. Things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about. If you see problems, let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.48. while the provincial average is slightly higher or lower at $1.40. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.43. The lowest price in the city is $1.39. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
The Summer of Locals Market is happening at the Outlet Collection. Good morning, Ainsley. You're going to tell us more about it.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yeah, it actually happens in the parking lot here right now. We're inside the Locals, so it's like you're taking a lot of these businesses and moving them out, and there's even more of them. 80. Well, there's even more in here, so you'll have to come into the store too. Matthew and Narissa join us now to tell us all about the Summer of Locals. This is the 5th market that you've done this year alone for the summertime. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so we've been doing this now for 3 years. We've been popping up in the parking lot of Outlet Collection Winnipeg with all our local vendors and more. Food trucks, bouncy castles, basically just a fun day for the family to be able to support local.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, we want to be able to do that. There's a huge variety. You're saying 30% of it is food, but what else can people expect?
Anything from toys to apparel, jewelry, really anything you can think of that you can make, it's all in there.
And inside the store, that you're already doing that too. Why did you want to bring it outside of the store?
It's just a bigger platform for us to be able to support and promote local. We obviously can't fit everybody in our store, so we thought a market would be like a great idea to be able to showcase all of the local talent in the city.
And you guys have had immense success so far. Paint a picture for day of for the folks who haven't been there yet.
Yeah, so we started at 11 a.m., but we set up much before that. Basically, as soon as it hits, you know, we're getting around lunchtime, people are getting hungry, so we get people coming in to grab something unique that you won't find somewhere else. And there's also so many vendors you can shop from. There's music, live music, so really, bouncy castles as well, of course, for the kids, face painting, lots of activities, and so yeah, it's really buzzing, and I mean, it's a little chaotic, but it's fun. It's a fun chaotic, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm sure from a business owner's perspective, they're saying, I'd rather it be busy than it not busy at all. When it comes to having business specifically for the local vendors, why is that so important? You know it yourself, being here.
Well, our mission is to promote locals, so it's very important for us to bring in local vendors, and yeah.
Well, you got to support them, guys. You either come in the store or come to the market. That's happening all weekend long. We'll have more at 7:27.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Out on the rooftop now. Is the sun up yet?
Technically, yes, but a few extra clouds. When I look off to the east, if I was to look off to the west, it's quite clear, but all of the clouds off to the east where the sun will be rising, but still, it's just making for all that more dramatic of a sunrise. Pretty out here, but a little pretty cool. It's chilly. Throw that extra layer on if you are headed out early this morning. 6 degrees is where we're sitting, even though the winds are light and will stay that way. A 6K wind out of the northwest with the pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 99%. So yes, the sun is technically up now. It'll take some time to get above the buildings in the downtown area, and that's once it's higher, it can finally throw some warmth our way. But for now, it's still, like I said, a little bit chilly out here this morning. It will remain slightly below seasonal even once we're reaching those expected highs today. 22 degrees is where we'll top out when 23 is normal for this time of year. Now, there will be some sunshine to enjoy, most definitely. The possibility of a few passing showers. And then after this, things get even warmer through the rest of this week. Most of this week will actually be spent above seasonal. So even though it maybe seemed cool over the weekend and to kick off your Monday, we're wondering what's happened to summer. No, it's coming back again in a very big way throughout the rest of this week with those warmer temperatures. We'll be soaking up the last bit of the season before September rolls around this weekend. Taking a break right now. I don't know why I paused there. We're taking a break. We'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful at 900 Lorimer Boulevard, featuring Hunter Douglas shades.
Looking at the early markets, futures are pointing to a strong open on Wall Street. Dow futures are up 846. NASDAQ futures are up 2, adding 396 points. S&P futures are also opening strongly, up 96 points. The Canadian dollar is seeing a slight decline. Overseas, the Hang Seng is on the rise, up 490, while Japan's Nikkei is up 174. Good morning, it is 6:45. The body of a missing Norwegian hiker has been found in northern Manitoba. RCMP say the body of 29-year-old Stefan Shatelvik was discovered Sunday, just north of York Factory. He was reported missing August 15th after failing to arrive in the remote community about 850 kilometers northeast of Winnipeg. Police believe he attempted to cross the fast-moving Hayes River and was swept away by the current. Searchers, including members of nearby First Nations, had recovered his backpack and rifle last week. Shatelvik was on a cross-continental journey through the Canadian wilderness. WestJet has been ordered to pay $5,000 to a family for denied boarding while their plane was at the gate. This happened back in 2024 when a couple and their 3 children were scheduled to travel from Phoenix to Kelowna with a connection in Calgary. The first leg of their flight was delayed 3 hours, arriving in Calgary just under 40 minutes before their connecting flight was set to leave. Unknown to them, the airline had rebooked that flight for the next morning. WestJet did not dispute the family was denied boarding, but instead argued their weather-related delay for the first flight was out of the airline's control. The BC Tribunal disagreed, given the family arrived in Calgary in time to make their connection and said it was within the airline's control. Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Warsaw, Poland this morning, meeting with Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk.
We learned much from the Prime Minister, from his government, including the importance of pulling our full weight in NATO. And it will take us a few years to reach Polish levels of commitment. But it's possible. And we have made that commitment. We will quadruple our spending on defense between now and the end of the decade.
The two leaders announced a new strategic partnership that will focus on trade, defense, and energy. This, of course, comes after Carney made a surprise visit to Ukraine to mark the country's Independence Day. Sunday was move-in day for tens of thousands of post-secondary students across the country getting settled into their new campus dorms. But this year marks a significant drop in the number of international students moving in, with the government-imposed cap on study permits now in its second year. CTV's Kamal Karamali has more on what this means for schools and students.
Boxes, crates, and suitcases stuffed with anything.
This is all my stuff.
And everything.
Some pillows, some bedding, fridge over there.
It's move-in day for these first-year post-secondary students, and there's change everywhere, including in the number of international students on campus.
It is kind of sad. A lot of international students dream of studying abroad.
Here at Toronto Metropolitan University, among all first-year students, there's been a noticeable drop of international students, roughly 1,100 first-year students in total this year. More than 80% of those are from across Canada, with 17% from abroad, most of them from the United States.
We've seen it a little bit higher. We've seen more like 20-25% the last few years. So it's a bit of a dip from that.
Ram Kanakamadala, a fourth-year student from India, seeing more foreign students graduating than they are coming in.
I have a sister. She might be wanting to study abroad, and caps like this are affecting her.
Early last year, the federal government announced a 2-year cap on international study permits approved, reducing it by roughly 35% for 2024 and by another 10% for this year, citing strains on the housing and healthcare system. Those keeping track of the numbers say there's far fewer permits than that being approved.
So there was a small decrease in 2024 and then another 60% decrease in the number of new students approved to attend Canadian universities in the first quarter of this year.
Housing reports have showed a reduced demand for rental properties, resulting in a drop in prices. Ottawa has pointed to that as proof the cap is working. But others say Canada is losing out on a robust future workforce.
They, in fact, help pay for more spots for Canadian-born students to attend university because international students pay higher tuition fees.
Back on campus, those gaps left behind by fewer international students.
For us in residence, we're seeing more GTA students than we've seen before.
Now filled by local ones. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
One Calgary couple's marriage has really gone the distance. They have some words of advice for newlyweds.
Just hang in there.
Jack and Beryl Delorme were married on August 19, 1950, and are now celebrating 75 years of love. They say the secret to their marriage is they get along and are good to each other. They have 3 children and spend their time playing games with the Thorncliffe Seniors group. Here's a look at what's happening along Portage Avenue right now. Things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive.
That looks beautiful, doesn't it? Yeah. All of that sunshine over the city is looking good outside right now. It's 6 degrees with northwest winds 6 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 99%. What a beautiful start to the morning. Sure, there's a few clouds here or there just to make it a little more colorful this morning as the sun is rising. Speaking of clouds, within them, tucked in, there are some scattered showers. You can see them moving through central Manitoba. Winnipeg does have the possibility maybe of getting clipped, but still, it's going to be a fairly pleasant day overall. For northern Manitoba, it may even be an above seasonal day with these low 20 temperatures expected for you and a fair bit of sunshine as well. Once you're starting to move into more central Manitoba around the Island Lake area, you're starting to run into some heavier clouds and maybe some scattered showers in there in that kind of more north central stretch. Flin Flon, Norway House, the Paw, all with the chance of some scattered showers. Further into the north, some sunshine. Further into the south, some sunshine. But like I said, we have the chance that whatever is falling through central Manitoba does start to move further into the south through the day today. These low to mid 20 temperatures, that's what we can expect for today, or more so low 20 temperatures. It was central Manitoba hitting more in those mid 20s, so some places will do a little better than us as far as the heat goes, but we will continue to warm up throughout this week. Summer isn't over yet. I know it's felt cool over the weekend and certainly this morning, 6 degrees. That is a well below seasonal start to the day, but 22 isn't far off the mark of the seasonal 23. And there are several days this week and this weekend when we'll push a little above normal.
Thanks, Terry. Let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. A lot of info here. Ready?
Okay.
On September 20th, I am participating in something called Hill of Dreams. Big shout out to Endeavor. Hill of Dreams is in support of the Dream Factory. There's info dreamfactory.ca if you want to join or sponsor. I am going to run, as several other people are, we're going to run Garbage Hill 30 times minimum in support of the Dream Factory. Ooh. Yeah. So it's going to be awesome. In support of Tobin's Dream Factory. We're crushing Garbage Hill 30 times consecutively September 20th. So as such, I've been over at Garbage Hill quite a bit training, okay? Mm-hmm. And I noticed that the Garbage Hill sign had taken a few licks, all right? Some people broke some of the letters in the sign. So I said this the other day just in passing on the radio. Our boy Shane reaches out. Shane, SRS Signs.
Yes.
We're going to fix the Garbage Hill sign. So what you're seeing right now, as of tomorrow, like 11 a.m. or noon, the sign will be completely refurbished. Big shout out, Shane, SRS Signs. And then on September 20th, we're going to run Garbage Hill 30 times. Now, Chrissy Troy has wandered off and come back with, oh, isn't that nice?
Wow.
The Jennifer Jones book, everyone, Rockstar, is out officially tonight. So I am hosting a book launch with the Jennifer Jones tonight at McNally Robinson. Now, I got an advance copy of the book. Rochelle, I don't know about you, but like, it takes me a long time to read a book. Like, I love reading.
Me too, yes.
But I'm not fast. But I have managed to finish the book in 5 days, which for me is a massive win. But tonight, so I would come around 6:30, everyone. I will have a conversation with Jennifer Jones. And then if you want to ask some questions, by all means, it officially starts at 7. And then afterwards, you can pick up Rockstar and she will sign a copy for you. Jennifer Jones tonight, McNally Robinson, book launch. I think that's everything. Hill of Dreams, Endeavor, shout out, dreamfactory.ca. Lots going on.
Sounds like it. Okay, thanks, you guys. Have a good week. Well, 2 weeks after protesters convinced the province of Ontario to cease animal research testing at St. Joseph's Hospital in London, demonstrators were back at it Sunday. Their next goal is to get the dogs used in research released to local community care representatives. CTV's Brent Lale reports.
St. Joe's, let them go!
Dozens of protesters continue to demand the release of dogs used in research testing at St. Joseph's Healthcare.
This is the second protest that we've done, and we're going to keep on coming out until we know for sure that these dogs have been released.
The rally comes just days after advocacy group Animal Justice sent a media release looking for answers on when and where the dogs will be rehomed.
They're definitely at high risk of being just euthanized right now because they are in there, they're being housed, which is costing the hospital money. The hospital doesn't like to do that. And the cheapest and fastest and most effective way to get rid of the dogs would be to just dispose of them.
CTV reached out to St. Joseph's for a reaction. We were forwarded a statement which read, "The dogs are being cared for by animal health professionals under the responsibility of Western's compliance veterinarian and in keeping with Western Animal Care Committee and Canadian Council on Animal Care Standards of Care." They added these dogs are no longer involved in any scientific work. Veterinarians in consultation with the ACC will determine next steps and timing. This group is also asking the government to pass legislation making it illegal to test on human companions.
There's no actual rule saying that you can't. The hospital just simply agreed to it. So until the laws are actually passed, it's going to continue.
Release the dogs now! I want to say something about the whistleblowers. They are a very important part of this process. If you are working in a facility like this, we would encourage you to come forward and give us more information about what's going on in other hospitals and research centers around Ontario and Canada. And if you are involved in this sort of work at any level, we would ask you to actively protest this and to refuse to be a part of cruel treatment of dogs and cats in research in Ontario.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this short break. Stay with us. It is 7 a.m. on Monday, August 25th. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Coming up on at about 7:52, we're going to tell you about some local reaction to Prime Minister Mark Carney deciding to scale back the retaliatory tariffs to open up bargaining again with the U.S. government in this trade war. So we're going to find out a little bit more and get some reaction from the Manitoba Chambers of Commerce on what their stance is with these changes. But first, your headlines. The battle continues why the struggle between Air Canada and its flight attendants may not be over. Plus, creating representation, how a local publisher is amplifying African Canadian voices. And shooting some hoops, where Winnipeggers can now go to play a game of basketball. Bringing in Terry now. The day looks like it's a good start, but it's a little cooler.
It's definitely a little bit cooler. Yeah, you'll find that if you step outside right now or crack a window, you're like, ooh, that's chilly. Yeah, a little bit below seasonal. In fact, 6 degrees is where we're sitting when 10 would be a normal low. The breeze is light, though, out of the northwest, 6 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 99%. It's nice to see the sun up now, though. It wasn't when we started the show. It didn't even rise until 6:33, so it's only been up for, well, slightly less than half an hour, slightly. Anyway, we've got extra clouds in places this morning and through parts of central Manitoba, a little bit of that precipitation, which there is the possibility you'll see of that possibly getting us. That chance is there anyway. Much of northern Manitoba, though, clearing out nicely, plenty of sunshine, and parts of northern Manitoba will be right up into low to almost mid-20s, perhaps even surpassing southern Manitoba, but certainly above seasonal for this time of year. Central Manitoba also could be up into the mid-20s, low 20s through much of southern Manitoba, but only for today. By tomorrow, things are clearing out and up to mid-20 temperatures are then expected. Once again, the possibility of some scattered showers through central Manitoba and maybe passing through overnight, but mercury on the rise after today. So today will be just a little bit below what is normal, which is around 23 degrees. But after this, mid-20s, and the weekend is looking good as well as we're wrapping up the last long weekend of summer. And our art today, beautiful and almost a perfect forecast for today. You nailed it, Alexander. 20 degrees, we're right in that range, and a little bit of sun, a little bit of cloud. Please keep sending your art to us, whether it's on the sidewalk, draw, color painting, you name it, we'll take it. Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. Mosquitoes may be making a late summer arrival in Manitoba. Recent rains mean mosquito larvae that had been dormant for most of the summer could spring to life. It's been a relatively mosquito-free summer so far. Average insect trap counts have been low, with a maximum average of 7 insects per trap. It means Winnipeg's insect control branch hasn't had to do any fogging this summer, but with at least 6 weeks to go in the mosquito season, that could change.
The soils are getting saturated, and it's leading to more standing water than we've seen. And it's, definitely our main nuisance mosquitoes, Aedes vexans, is active right up until snowfall. So the season's not over yet.
David Wade says because there's been no fogging this summer, as a result, the city now has a stockpile of fogging chemicals, which could last another 2 to 3 seasons. While nearly all Air Canada operations are back to normal following last week's strike, the battle between the airline and its flight attendants union is far from over. While the two sides recently agreed to a tentative deal, it appears many flight attendants may vote against it. CTV's Kamil Karamali explains.
Things are moving along once again at Toronto's Pearson Airport. A week after a flight attendant strike grounded all Air Canada planes, Alexandra Lalonde is finally able to go home.
I was originally supposed to fly from Pearson to Kelowna, and it was canceled last Saturday. And then kind of same thing as everyone else, it wasn't rebooked, couldn't get through to call.
Air Canada said Thursday it'll cover hotels, meals, and ground transportation for passengers whose travel plans were disrupted.
Air Canada is also being vague and being difficult with passengers who booked their tickets through Airplan or through a travel agency.
While some passengers are still battling Air Canada for compensation, its flight attendants are doing the same when it comes to wages.
Flight attendants are crying.
The airline and the flight attendants union struck a tentative deal Tuesday that would see a 12% wage increase for less experienced employees, an 8% bump for more senior staff right away, and 50% of their hourly wages for 1 hour of work done before takeoff. All of that would see incremental increases over 4 years. And that's getting pushback from some union members.
Now, CTV News has spoken to multiple Air Canada flight attendants who tell us that they are going to vote no on the tentative agreement, saying it doesn't give them enough of a wage increase.
Flight attendants speaking to CTV News anonymously, fearing repercussions from their employer, say they expect most flight attendants to vote against ratifying the deal because it would not allow entry-level workers a decent living wage and doesn't address concerns around payment for a delayed or canceled flight.
It's really, food bank wages and, make people to a living wages. So there's a lot of angst that's being expressed by the flight attendants.
Air Canada declined to comment, but the union told CTV News our members forced the company back to the table with a better offer, except on wages. We will respect whatever decision is made by our members. If that decision is to reject the deal, flight attendants can't legally strike. Instead, the wages portion of the agreement would be decided by an independent arbitrator. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet with the Prime Minister of Poland today after making a surprise stop in Kyiv to mark Ukraine's Independence Day.
When peace comes, we must fortify Ukraine by rebuilding your cities, expanding your industries, developing your resources, and creating the foundations for true prosperity.
Carney told Ukrainians peace will come and Canada will be there when it does. Carney also offered a new breakdown of the additional $2 billion Canada pledged during June's G7 summit. The money will count towards Canada's commitment to reach the NATO spending target. He also said Canada could deploy military troops to Ukraine as part of an eventual security guarantee against Russia in an eventual ceasefire. There's been a major escalation in U.S. President Donald Trump's so-called crackdown on crime in the U.S. Capitol. As of last night, U.S. National Guard troops patrolling the streets of Washington, D.C. will begin carrying pistols and rifles. Hundreds of unarmed troops have been on Washington streets for the past 2 weeks after Trump declared a crime emergency in the district. Trump has also hinted at deploying troops to Chicago and Baltimore. Democratic lawmakers have condemned the plans and accused Trump of attempting to manufacture a crisis. New children's books with African Canadian voices have arrived at a Winnipeg elementary school. Bibi Okonu, a local publisher with Griot's Lounge, donated 4 children's books written by African-Canadian authors to a little free library at Chancellor Elementary School in Waverly Heights. Okonu founded his publishing company 5 years ago after noticing a lack of representation for African-Canadian immigrants. He says the journey hasn't been easy.
When we started, we were like, especially I was in doubt, like, do we have that much authors, African-Canadian authors in Canada? But the numbers now are so overwhelming that we are now having to go through these manuscripts to be sure of who we are to publish, the quality of the writing, the quality of the literature, how they interpret the community here in Canada, and also a whole lot of factors.
Okonu says he chose little free libraries in schools so children can easily access the books, read them, and begin to understand these stories. A new basketball court is now open in South Winnipeg, giving residents in one of the city's fastest growing neighborhoods a new place to play and connect. Eaglewood Park in Waverly West officially opened its regulation-sized basketball court on Saturday. Designed to host tournaments and league games, the court was built with input from local organizers. City Councillor Janice Luke says the response from families has already been enthusiastic.
I was talking to one mom earlier. She says she's probably more excited about this than her kids because she doesn't have to drive them to other basketball courts. They're just excited that it's in their neighborhood, right? We've got such a huge population of children here and youth, and to be able to come out and just play basketball anytime.
Local MP Terry Duguid praised the collaboration between federal and municipal governments. He also shared a hopeful message that the next MVP in the National Basketball League might just come from Prairie Point, starting right here on this court. St. John's Park welcomed people for a picnic for the 25th time. The 25th annual picnic in the park took place Saturday afternoon. This year, organizers partnered with Sackaway Festival to bring live music to the event, celebrating Indigenous culture and artists. Free lunch, resource tables, and bouncy castles were available. The event's organizers shared their excitement about the new partnership. And here's what's happening now on McPhillip Street. Things are moving well over here. No stalls or crashes to tell you about at this point. If you see any issues out on the streets, though, please let us know. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at Outlet Collection this morning. We're talking about the locals and a market that's happening in the parking lot. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. At the Outlet Collection, the Summer of Locals. It's the 5th market of the summer and the last one to catch. It's brought to you by The Locals, which is inside the Outlet Collection here. Now, we always tell you guys, shop local, but if you need any ideas, there's going to be 80 different vendors, thousands of different people coming. About 30% of them are food. And throughout the morning, we're going to be chatting with some of the businesses like Blossom House, and we're going to be learning about simple yet effective ways to spruce up your home with these delightful arrangements. Also, Fabled Bakery. Now, half a pound for each of these cookies, and look at the variety. I think it's sensory overload for me, Rochelle, and something really cool about them too is that they're fantasy-inspired cookies. So you're tasting something sweet and local, but it's inspired maybe by your favorite Marvel movie.
Oh, that is so fun, and I love those flowers too. Thank you, Ainsley. It's always good to spruce up your space with a beautiful bouquet of flowers.
Absolutely, and that focus on local, we all love to hear that.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about what's happening weather-wise this morning. I'm seeing some showers way off to the east right now. I'm actually just noticing them now, the drags in the clouds. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And I've been saying the possibility of some showers, even here in Winnipeg. It'll be a slim chance, but that chance is there. It's also a little bit cool this morning, so throw that extra layer on before you're heading out. We bumped up to 7 degrees. We were at 6. That was our coolest temperature, but even 7 is still below seasonal, 10 a normal low. We've got winds. They're light out of the west right now, just 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 100%. And we do have a few extra clouds hanging around right now, especially off to the east, like I said, where those showers are falling. But overall, we will see a mix of sun and cloud today and pleasant temperatures, even if we're still a little bit shy of seasonal. 22 is where we're headed today. 23, that's normal for this time of year. But many places through the province might even surpass that number by a degree. And that includes right up into northern Manitoba, who will likely enjoy some sunshine today. We'll see increasing amounts of sunshine and increasing temperatures throughout the rest of this week, a little bit above seasonal. We'll have a nice little blast of summer-like weather to finish off the last week of what will officially be summer. Not officially, no, because technically that's September. But anyway, I'm saying before the long weekend. This is the end of August, and it will be a nice warm week ahead.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Let's check in now on our question of the day. Today we're asking, what's your tip to get your kids back to school ready? Just a quick reminder, our question of the day has moved from Twitter. So now we want you to text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. All right, here's a look at what's happening on Notre Dame Avenue. Things are moving well here. We're going to take a short break. We'll see you after this. Good morning. Coming up to 7:16. Police alerted the public on Friday about a convicted sex offender who's been released from custody. Jason Mark Bard is now free after serving a sentence for a conviction of aggravated assault and assaulting a police officer. The 35-year-old is expected to live in Winnipeg. Bard has a lengthy criminal record, including convictions for sexual assault with a weapon, forcible confinement, and numerous probation breaches. Police warn he's a high risk to reoffend in a sexually violent manner against women. Anyone with information about Bard is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Police in Toronto are now asking for the public's help identifying a car that may be linked to a shooting that killed an 8-year-old boy. These images show what is believed to be a white Acura. Investigators have not said how they believe the car was involved or where and when it was last seen, but anyone with information is asked to come forward. 8-year-old Javet Roy was killed by a stray bullet while lying in bed with his mother last Saturday morning. Hundreds gathered at Assiniboine Park on Saturday for the annual Walk for Pulmonary Fibrosis, a community event raising awareness for a disease that makes breathing difficult. Organized by the Canadian Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation, this year's walk carried extra weight as wildfire smoke continues to affect air quality across Manitoba. Organizers say the event helps people feel seen and supported.
They said that it's like being with family, like they don't feel alone, that for once they're in a group of people that they don't have to explain what this rare disease is, and that, you know, they can just enjoy and be themselves. As we've learned more and more about this disease, we've realized that there are some families that it runs in their family. And so we're here to support them, to say that we are here to walk every step of the way.
The walk included family activities, free lunch, and a call for better access to medical oxygen, something many patients rely on to breathe. Canadians have been through a lot in the past few years, but one farmers market in North Bay thinks it's helped boost their busiest year yet.
Here I buy Canadian, and I know it's fresh off the farm, and I'm a farmer's daughter, so it really helps.
The chair of the market says the strong growing season, a desire to support local, and tariff threats have put this market on the map. About 60% of the vendors are farmers. It also boasts jewelers and craftsmen. The market runs on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And here's a look at what's happening now along St. Mary's Road. Things are slowly picking up here, and it looks like things are still moving quite well. No issues to tell you about at this point in this area or this part of the city.
CTV Morning Live Traffic brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Time now for some entertainment news. A mega hit Netflix film that had special screenings in cinemas this weekend reached #1 at the box office.
The world will know you as pop stars. But you will be much more than that.
Netflix brought out a sing-along version of its movie K-pop Demon Hunters to more than 1,700 North American theaters. It brought in an estimated $18 million US. That knocked horror thriller Weapons into second place with $15.6 million in ticket sales. Freakier Friday slid to third with $9.2 million. This band is onto something. Zach Bryan have teamed up for this new track. They debuted the song We're Onto Something in San Francisco earlier this month. But now fans can stream it. Kings of Leon closed out the Victorious Festival last night in the UK. This album is arriving just in time for Halloween.
On stage, and I call her by her first name.
Florence and the Machine have released their latest single called Everybody Scream. The title track is also the name of the band's 6th studio album. You can now pre-order the 12-song record before it drops October 31st. Warming up your vocals, that's show business.
New York. See, now that's
I'm really excited.
Travis and Jason Kelsey are sharing more behind-the-scenes videos from their New Heights podcast. Taylor Swift appeared on New Heights a few weeks ago to announce her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl. But even showgirls and football players have to warm up. Indeed. Competition is king tonight on your primetime lineup with American Ninja Warrior at 7, at 9, Laugh Along with Match Game. Then at 10, it's The Big Bang Theory. E-Talk rounds out your evening at 10:30. Yeah, we all have to do that when we are in broadcasting. We have to warm up. Yes, there you go. Every day.
Right?
Yes.
I just make noise. I don't know if it's actual warm-ups, but I sure make a lot of noise first thing in the morning. You're welcome
We
to
love
all
your
my
noise.
crew.
How's the day shaping up?
Do you know, it's beautiful out there. The sun is shining. It's looking good. The breeze is light. It's going to stay that way today. Here's a look now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. So yes, some sunshine to enjoy. There's a few clouds out there, and I'll show you where the showers are falling right now. In fact, when I was standing up there on the rooftop, I was noticing some activity just off to the east. Temperature-wise, though, look at these numbers. All of us well below seasonal. Well, not well below. For some, you're a lot closer to the normal 10. That would be a seasonal low temperature. Dauphin's, Portage La Prairie, Gimli, Morden Winkler area, Kenora, all coming in at 9, so just missing the mark there. But we're only at 7 degrees, so a little bit cooler yet, but even cooler, we've got Sprague coming in at 4, along with Brandon, not much better in Melita, 5 degrees right now. Then there's central Manitoba and up into northern Manitoba, where you're into those double digits and even some mid-teens. Look at Flin Flon, 14 degrees to kick off your morning. Thompson, cool start for you, 4 degrees at this time. I was talking about those showers that I was seeing just off to the east, and no surprise, you can see some of that precipitation showing up on the satellite image right now. Much clearer through southwestern Manitoba and northern Manitoba. We'll see some of that sunshine, but could get clipped with the possibility of a shower passing through. We'll watch how the temperatures roll today. So high teens, I guess, by about noontime, and then pushing up into those low 20s, and that includes northern Manitoba, which will be an above seasonal day for you, but slightly below seasonal for us here in the south, where 23 degrees is normal for this time of year. After this, though, it will be warming up a little bit more. So for the most part, seasonal or above, and continuing to stay quite mild into the coming weekend. Out in Austin, Manitoba, double rainbows looking good. Thanks to Rebecca for this beautiful photo. And keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
An evacuated family in Newfoundland and Labrador is dealing with the news that their home was targeted by thieves. Many others displaced by wildfires now worry the same may have happened to their properties, and they want police to step up. Rosie Malali of NTV News has the story.
When people are so vulnerable.
That was the question Karen Parsons was left asking this past week after receiving shocking news about their Ochre Pit home. 2 weeks ago, raging wildfires forced her and her husband Eric out. They were relieved to recently hear their property was still standing, but that feeling turned to horror Friday morning when police informed them their 2022 Can-Am Outlander ATV was stolen from their garage. Their home's front door was also beaten in and the inside ransacked.
It was horrible. I cried. I mean, how can you not cry? How can you not be angry? My whole personal life has been violated.
They weren't the only evacuees victimized. The RCMP say they have received at least 2 other official reports relating to thefts from evacuated properties. Many now worry if they've been hit by thieves or will be before they're given permission to return. It's added to their already growing sense of helplessness.
We're all frustrated. We're all angry. We're not getting the answers we deserve.
Kim Whalen was evacuated from her home in Western Bay 2 weeks ago and staying in a camper near Carabiner Academy. She thinks police should allow them back in their homes for quick inspections.
Residents, they've been through enough. They waited 14 days to find out if their house were gone or not. And we should be able to go in for a short, brief time and check our houses.
It was the sentiment expressed by many others at Carbonear Academy Friday afternoon while speaking with RCMP Superintendent Keith McKinnon, who visited to offer reassurances. He said RCMP are investigating the crimes, but with power lines down and water testing to be done, he urged residents to not violate the evacuation order by sneaking back to their homes.
I want you back in your communities as much as you do, but we have to look at things like we can't have you driving through a community with hydro lines down that are still live, all that. They consider this and they make sure that everybody's safe, and I'm sure you all appreciate that.
McKinnon said patrols have been enhanced, especially at night. He said government ultimately makes the final decision about residents' re-entry, with several factors involved. In Friday's briefing, Premier John Hogan indicated it may take a while before residents are permitted back into their homes. It can come soon enough for these evacuees who just pray something's left to go back to. Rosie Malali, NTV News.
We're supporting local with this market. Stay with us for more details. Good morning. Manitoba's opposition Tories say Premier Wabkinew isn't playing fair during this election campaign. In fact, the Conservatives say he's breaking the law. The PCs are sounding the alarm over this social media post.
And now we're announcing also that stretch from Souris to Delow is going to get fixed thanks to our candidate Ray Bertholet putting that on the agenda, listening to you. So on August 26th, when you choose the road ahead here in Spruce Woods, please lend Ray your vote.
The PC say Kinew made a new government promise in the video just days ahead of the Spruce Woods by-election. And Tory leader Abhi Khan says it violates a section of the Elections Act which forbids government from promoting its programs or activities during a campaign.
It's very clear that the Premier is using his seat as the Premier, as the leader of the NDP, to influence and to buy votes in Spruce Woods. He's done this throughout this entire campaign. $300 million wasn't enough. Right before he calls the by-election, realized that they're not going to win Spruce Woods, he now resorts to breaking the law.
Khan has filed a complaint with the Commissioner of Elections saying Kinew is using publicly funded staff to run his social media accounts. CTV News got this statement from an NDP spokesperson saying, quote, "We're proud of our party's campaign commitment to fixing Highway 2 for the residents of Westman. This complaint is a baseless attempt from the PCs to distract from the fact they did nothing for rural infrastructure for 7 years. There is relief for some people living in Conception Bay North who are now home after being forced out by wildfires.
It was nice to step inside the house, but it was very eerie coming on the road. There was 5 vehicles with us, and just like we were coming into a ghost town, like there was no life here.
More people from Perry's Cove have now been allowed to return almost 3 weeks after they were told to leave. Evacuation orders are being lifted in stages, with officials saying some of the harder hit communities will need a lot of cleanup before people can go home. The Kingston fire on the northwest shore of Conception Bay has destroyed almost 200 homes and structures. Bringing in Terry now. I'm looking at my garden. It's looking pretty sad, but I'm thinking maybe it's time to clean it up and get all those vegetables out.
Well, this time of year, yeah, I'm with you. I have one plant on my patio that gave up a couple weeks ago. The rest of them still seem to be doing okay, and I keep thinking they've got to hold on because there's still another week of beautiful summer weather. And this is that week, although I know it feels like fall this morning. We're waking up to well below seasonal temperatures. We were at 6, we're now at 7, slowly making some gains. Winds are on the lighter side. They're out of the west, 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 100%. It takes longer for the sun to rise. It takes longer for that warmth to come our way. And then, yes, these cooler mornings have you starting to think of the season ahead. But I promise you this week is still going to be very mild, very pleasant. Those extra clouds that we're seeing right now do come with a little bit of precipitation. And you can see some of that activity through parts of central Manitoba and in areas even just to the east of us. We have a possibility of seeing those showers here in Winnipeg as well, but they will be brief and passing if we do see them at all. 22 degrees, though. That's a little bit below seasonal, but I mean, a little bit. I'm talking a degree. It was actually cooler this weekend than it will be today, so we're starting to get some of that warmth back again, and we'll continue to feel things warming up through the week. 22 today, down to 12 overnight, so already our overnight temperatures are starting to feel a little bit better. Partly cloudy conditions, still with those very light winds, but those winds will be increasing tomorrow, as will the temperatures. A little more sunshine expected, and 26 degrees. 23 is normal for this time of year. That's our lowest temp that we're seeing through the rest of this week after today. So seasonal or above, and a very pleasant, mild weekend ahead.
All right, thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about this local market that's happening at the Outlet Mall, and now you're going to share us some beautiful bouquets with us this morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. I was trying to intently listen to Terry's forecast so I could know how the weather was going to be this weekend for the Summer of Locals Market. Alexandra Chapu joins us now to tell us all about it. Blossom House is the name of her business. Local businesses, 80 of them there. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
So I'm Alexandra, and my business is Blossom House. I wouldn't call myself a florist or a flower farmer. I'm passionate about flowers, and I've felt that flowers aren't as accessible as I think that they should. You can buy them in one of two places, the grocery store or a florist, and I found that my passion for flowers could help benefit others by bringing the joy and beauty to flowers to more spaces like the locals markets.
It's an outdoor market in the parking lot here at the Outlet Collection Mall, but you're going to be on an inside quarter. Explain.
Yeah, so there's about 14 of us that are in the inside court. Mostly I chose to be inside because flowers don't like heat. You would think that they want, you know, fresh air and sun, but that's actually not how they, you know, live their best life. They like to be in cool indoor places. So I'm inside with a bunch of other very talented vendors like jewelers, bakers, and artists.
And you've brought some fantastic arrangements with you today. I like that there's various sizes too, because, you know, you might want something a little bit more petite. So tell us about the arrangements and how you put them all together, because they're very unique.
Yeah, so these are actually all grown from my garden. I harvested them yesterday. And that's what's so lovely about flowers, is that you can just pick them up from your garden, and that's why I love it the most, is the creativity, that no two flower arrangements are the same. You can do small ones like mason jars that you can just pick up from your counter and put into your kitchen. You have beautiful gladiolas here that are like big and beautiful and, you know, very impactful. And then you have your, like, you don't want to say ordinary, but cosmos. They're cut and come again flowers. You get them all season, so I cut them nice and long so that they last longer. And then even your zinnias and sunflowers. They're like your typical summer flowers that just bring joy and beauty into your house all season long.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys come this weekend. Coming up at 7:42, big cookies. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you, Ainsley. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is once again defending her move to start charging for the COVID-19 vaccine.
I don't think that they've done the analysis that we've done. If they, I think they're going to be a bit shocked after they have to pay for it themselves.
Speaking on her radio show over the weekend, Premier Smith says BC and Manitoba may not have done all the math in deciding to give away the shots for free. Alberta will start charging most people in the province $100 for the vaccine. BC and Manitoba say they will offer them free of charge for anybody from Alberta who needs one. The Alberta government says it's charging for the shot because most of them go unused and because Ottawa has stopped paying for them. Officials in Gaza say at least 19 people, including 4 journalists, were killed this morning in an Israeli strike on a hospital. The Israeli strike hit Nasser Hospital in southern Gaza. Gaza's Hamas-run civil defense says several people were killed after the hospital was first hit. When rescue teams rushed to the scene, the hospital was hit a second time, killing more people. The 4 journalists killed worked for the Associated Press, Reuters, and Al Jazeera. Israeli officials have offered no comments so far on the strike. Once China's biggest real estate firm, Evergrande's collapse took its final step yesterday. The company's stock was delisted from the Hong Kong Stock Exchange today. At its height, Evergrande had a valuation of more than $50 billion US, but its foundation was built on a mountain of borrowed money. The collapse started when China started to clamp down on how much big developers can borrow. And here's what's happening now in traffic along Kenniston Boulevard. It looks like things are moving quite well over here. no issues to tell you about at this point. And here's what's this is what it looks like outside. Looks pretty beautiful start to your Monday morning. We'll be back after this with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
There's a look outside this morning. A few extra clouds and some cool temperatures. 7 degrees right now. It's a little below seasonal, but that's warmer than last hour when we started out at 6. The winds are light. They're out of the west, just 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 100%. Heavier clouds in some places. The possibility of some scattered showers. There you can see the precipitation showing up through parts of central Manitoba. Maybe some areas just off to the east. Maybe even Winnipeg at some point today. For northern Manitoba, it's going to be a beautiful one for you. Enjoy that sunshine and the temperatures that'll take you to above seasonal values, low to almost mid-20s across much of northern Manitoba, and fairly clear for the most part, although once you're starting to move more into north central Manitoba, that's where you could run into the extra clouds and the possibility of that precipitation. Still, nothing wrong with where the mercury will be settling. That's slightly above what you would expect this time of year, but that chance of showers is there. Aside from that, light winds and some sunshine, especially through southwestern Manitoba. Sky conditions fairly clear there. Look at these temperatures through central Manitoba and you'll see they might be slightly milder than anything that will be reaching here through the most southern stretch. But it's only for today. Well, it was for the weekend. You noticed it was cool over the weekend, and today a little warmer. After this, even warmer yet. Beautiful weather throughout this week with that last little blast of summer to remind us that the season, it ain't over yet. And it is going to be pleasant and slightly above normal throughout this weekend, with 23 degrees being that seasonal daytime high, but most days will be a couple degrees above that. And a fair bit of sunshine is expected, although that possibility of showers is there today.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about supporting local businesses, and now you're going to tell us about a giant cookie.
One giant cookie. I should have specified. There are several giant cookies.
Good.
Fabled Bakeries. Tori Davis joins us. And when you think that you've seen it all in our show, yeah, we've shown you cookies before, but have you seen fantasy-inspired cookies? And you thought, you know what, there's a need in the market right now.
Absolutely, there needs to be.
You guys have been around since April. Yes. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
So we're more of like a local fantasy-themed bakery where we just specialize in just nearly half a pound size cookies. And right now we actually just have just our cookies, but we also have our potions. So then when you stir them, you get to see the magic flow right through them.
Okay, I feel like it's stimulation overload when I even look at the box. So let's start with the box and then we'll go to the sweet drinks.
So each one of them does have a fun little name to it. So we have our Banana Arcana. That one is more of a banana bread. We have our Dark Curse, which is more of a brownie consistency. It does have like a molten fudgy center. We do have our Biscoff Ember that also has a cookie butter center. Then we have our special monthly flavor, which is the Fairy's Berry, which actually is more of a strawberry shortcake. Then we have our most popular one, which is the Pistachio Prophecy. So lots of pistachio and toffee all drizzled into it. Then we have the blue guy over there. That is our Treasure Goblin. So we got Oreos and Chips Ahoy. Next we have our Scarlet Spell. So that is our red velvet cream cheese. And lastly, the almond croissant one, which is also called the Gilded Crescent.
How do you stuff a cookie?
Oh, you just roll it up together, mash it all in.
You know what? I don't even need to know about the process. I need to know about the process of it hitting my tongue. Yeah. Okay, and then when you stir these, yes, it makes a different combination. Tell us about that.
So a little bit about it is it's like they do have some more of a layering consistency to it. So as you can see for this one, for example, as soon as you stir it, you can actually see more of the sparkles, which I call pixie dust. So a little bit more of a magical experience.
Okay, and fantasy themed, people can check you out coming out at the Summer of Locals event happening this weekend. It's one of 5 markets that's happened this summer, so catch the last one while it's here.
Thank you, Ainsley. The body of a missing Norwegian hiker has been found in northern Manitoba. RCMP say the body of 29-year-old Stefan Schetelvik was discovered Sunday just north of York Factory. He was reported missing August 15th after failing to arrive in the remote community about 850 kilometers northeast of Winnipeg. Police believe he attempted to cross the fast-moving Hayes River and was swept away by the current. Searchers, including members of nearby First Nations, had recovered his backpack and rifle last week. Schetelvik was on a cross-continental journey through the Canadian wilderness. His body has been flown to Winnipeg, where an autopsy is scheduled. Mounties are thanking community members and volunteers for their help in the search. The Ukrainian community celebrated the 34th anniversary of Ukraine's independence on Sunday. More than 60 newcomer volunteers gathered at 9 a.m. at the Access Center in West St. Paul to begin setup. The event featured food, vendors, crafts, a children's soccer game, and other activities. Organizers said the mood wasn't the happiest with the war still ongoing. Still, Sunday's event was uplifting for many who now call Manitoba home.
As you know, we have welcomed a lot of people here, over 30,000. And I'm delighted to say that we've opened our hearts, our wallets, our doors, and our homes. And it's important to help these people who chose Manitoba. They chose to come here and are integrated into our province.
Lewandowski also emphasized the resilience of Ukrainians and their strong sense of culture and tradition. And here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.38, while the provincial average is slightly higher at $1.40. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.43. The lowest price in the city is $1.39. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by KidneyCard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Hello, Laura Dykin here inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. And for that, let's head across the pond. Canadian Tejan Buchanan had himself a day in La Liga. Villarreal taking on Girona. And here in the 16th minute, Buchanan with a nutmeg and then goes upstairs. Buchanan, who signed a 5-year deal last month with Villarreal, collects his first goal of the year, already matching his total from last season. And he wasn't done there. Yeah, he's got the flip, but he had some more goals coming. After scoring in the first half again, in the 64th, he completes the first career hat trick, joining Jonathan David as the only Canadians to score a hat trick in Europe's top 5 leagues. Yes, a memorable day for the Brampton, Ontario native, earning our must-see moment. Well, today on TSN, it's day 2 of the U.S. Open. More Canadian content here. Gabrielle Diallo and Vicky Mboko are in action. Mboko making her U.S. Open debut just 2 weeks after winning her first WTA title in Montreal. Full day coverage begins at 10 a.m. Central. That does it for us here inside the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
TSN Must-See Moments brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, your Hunter Douglas shade provider for over 40 years. CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
All right, it is still a little bit cool out here this morning, especially because even though the sun is up, see, first thing this morning I was complaining that it was cool, but the sun hadn't even started to rise yet. It didn't happen until 6:33, and now it's up, and I'm still complaining that it's cool, but that's because we've got these extra clouds blocking the sun at this time. That's not likely to last. We'll probably see a little more clearing as the day goes on, but for now, throw that extra layer on. You'll be glad you did. It's only 7 degrees right now with winds out of the west, 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 100%. I'm seeing a much brighter sky as I look off to the west, to the north as well. Off to the east, I see not just the clouds, but those drags in the clouds. It looks like I'm still seeing some shower activity. I would say directly out around Dugald, maybe, right in that area or aligned with that. So the possibility is there that we too could see some brief passing showers, although as I look directly above, I'm enjoying some blue sky at this time. The temperatures today, especially through southern Manitoba, might be just shy of seasonal, and I'm talking missing the mark by a degree, whereas parts of central and northern Manitoba might even be above seasonal. We'll all be in the same place, though, those low to mid 20s, and it will continue to warm up through the rest of the week.
Canada is removing many retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods as talks continue between the federal government and U.S. officials to reach a trade deal. This means on the American goods that are covered by the free trade agreement between the two countries. Prime Minister Mark Carney announced this on Friday, saying this will help kickstart negotiations on a new trade and security deal with the U.S. Joining us now from the Manitoba Chambers of Commerce is Chuck Davidson. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, Rochelle.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, before we get to this new deal by Carney, let's talk about what businesses have been seeing so far with the trade, because these tariffs have been in place for a while now. This trade war continues.
Yeah.
What are you seeing from local businesses?
Yeah, so look, I think we've been going through this for the past 8 months, and I think this has been a challenge for business because they love to live in a world of certainty. And so what we've seen is that businesses have, in a lot of cases, have held off on making decisions, whether it be on investing in capital, investing in people, investing in their businesses, until they can get a little bit more understanding of what this looks like. When you look at the broader numbers overall from a Canadian perspective as well, and Manitoba obviously included in that, what we have seen is a decrease in exports to the United States. Typically in the past, we were somewhere in the neighborhood about 73, 74%. I saw some May numbers that showed us at about 67, 68%. So what we're seeing is that there is being an impact on this. We're exporting less to the U.S. as a result of this. The positive is that, and one of the things that we've talked about repeatedly, is we need to explore new markets. And so we have seen an increase in trade with other jurisdictions, not to the same dollar level, but we have seen an increase in that percentage. So that's a good thing. And that's one of the things that we've continually talked about, is that when you have an unreliable trading partner, you need to start looking at other opportunities. And so some of those opportunities are existing relationships that we have with other countries. It's also about interprovincial trade barriers. How can we do more trade within Canada as well? And so these are things that businesses have been looking at to make up that loss of what's happening south of the border. But at the same time, it's not to the same extent, which is why it's important. What Prime Minister Carney did, I think, on Friday, is we've got to get that negotiation with the U.S. back on the table. We need to find a conclusion to this situation, whether it's a 0% tariff and we're back to how we were pre all of this nonsense, or the best deal that we can for Canada. That's what's most important for businesses and for the average Canadian consumer.
So Friday's announcement, what does it mean exactly?
Well, I think what it means is that, so currently 80 to 85% of goods that we trade with the U.S. are now CUSMA compliant, and which means there is zero tariff. There are still areas with automobiles, there are still areas with steel and aluminum where the tariffs continue on. Those are problematic. Those are the key areas that we need to have those conversations on, about how do we get those tariffs as close to zero in those areas, because those are key from a manufacturing perspective. For Manitoba, a lot of manufacturers deal with the U.S. Those are still problematic. What's happened, I think, on Friday is a step from the Canadian government to say, okay, we're getting closer. Let's sit down, let's hammer this out, and let's get a deal that's going to be in the best interest of both countries.
Some critics, though, have said that this is far from the elbows up movement and more of an elbows down kind of move.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, and I understand that. And I think the reality, I think what we've found over the course of these past 8 months is there is no straight line to negotiations with President Trump. It seems to go up and down on a daily basis. So you need to understand what he's looking for and understanding what's in the best interest of Canada at the same time. And so, is there times to have elbows up? Absolutely, and I think we did that when we put the retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. I think when they've come down, you need to show a sign of good faith when you're negotiating that. How do we get a deal at the end of the day? Because it's not going to be a Canada wins, U.S. loses. You need to find a relationship where both sides are going to win on this.
Okay, Chuck, thanks for your expertise on this.
Always a pleasure.
All right, coming up, we're going to learn more about how you can support local business with Ainsley McPhail this morning, telling us about some of the markets happening in the parking lot at the Outlet Mall. Stay with us. Viewers in Cambridge, Ontario were treated to a rare sights show with some pretty spectacular furry friends. These dogs and cats are among the best animal actors in the country, according to the Ultimate Stunt Dog Show website. The cast of rescued animals all perform different tricks. So cool. Well, it's time for Let's Celebrate. Let's see who's having a celebration today. Happy 29th birthday to Devin. Left from your mom, dad, brothers, sisters, nieces, and nephews. If someone you care about is having a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or graduation, let's celebrate. To submit your celebration, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Let's celebrate. Brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca.
On your Monday. Thank you so much for staying with us here on CTV Morning Live. Kids are going back to school next week. It's hard to believe, but yes, after the long weekend, they are going back, and many might have expressed that they're worried. They're anxious about going back. So we're going to talk to someone who can give us some advice on how to talk to your kids about their anxiety of going back to school. As well, the summer learning side, research shows that happens as well during the summer. They're away from reading and writing. We're going to show you how to get them back on track this week so they're ready for next week. But first, your headlines. Mosquitoes making a comeback. Could late summer rains bringing the buzz back to Manitoba? Plus, Prime Minister Mark Carney in Poland. Will new trade and defense talks boost Canada's influence abroad? And sky-high spectacle, elephants and pandas take flight at Sri Lanka's Kite Festival. Bring it in, Terry. Now, is it windy enough for a kite today?
There's almost no wind whatsoever today. Tomorrow, the winds will be so much stronger, but today, they're barely out there. 7 degrees right now, the wind's 8 kilometers out of the west. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 0%. I don't know why I said that. At 100%. I've said some of the weirdest stuff today. Honestly, what a Monday for you. Anyway, humidity is sitting at 100% right now. We've got some extra clouds. We've got the possibility of some scattered showers. There you can see them moving through parts of central Manitoba. And that possibility is there that we too could get clipped with a shower here in Winnipeg. Here's a look at the futurecast, and you'll see why I say this. Sure, central Manitoba might be where they are right now, but later on into the day, boom, there you are. There's Winnipeg, there's the showers. So I'm going to go with the possibility that we do see some of that today. A few clouds. Temperatures will still be slightly shy of seasonal here in the south, but for northern Manitoba, you can see it clearing out nicely, plenty of sunshine, and even above seasonal temperatures expected across northern Manitoba. And that bit of shower activity will be brief and passing, not amounting to too much, so we really don't have much to worry about. And it will continue to warm up throughout this week. I know it was cooler this past weekend, and today a chilly 6 degrees to kick off your morning, and even slightly below the seasonal 23. But after today, we're either above seasonal or at normal, but even the weekend is looking good as we're kind of wrapping up the last bit of summer. And I love that our sidewalk art today matches our forecast almost exactly. Thank you to Alexander for this, and keep the artwork coming, please. We love seeing what you're working on. Draw, color, paint. Take a picture of that and email us to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. Winnipeg police say a man is facing charges after a violent robbery attempt at a grocery store. Officers were called Saturday evening to a store in the 600 block of Stafford Street. Police allege the man punched a security guard before trying to leave with stolen meat products. They say he then pulled a knife and attempted to stab the guard, but left empty-handed. The suspect was arrested a short time later and is facing robbery and other offenses. Police say no one was seriously injured. Mosquitoes may be making a late summer arrival in Manitoba. Recent rains mean mosquito larvae that have been dormant for most of the summer could spring to life. It's been a relatively mosquito-free summer so far. Average inspect trap counts have been low, with a maximum average of 7 insects per trap. It means Winnipeg's insect control branch hasn't had to do any fogging this summer. But with at least 6 weeks to go in the mosquito season, that could change.
The soils are getting saturated, and it's leading to more standing water than we've seen. And it's, definitely our main nuisance mosquitoes, Aedes vexans, is active right up until snowfall. So the season's not over yet.
David Wade says because there's been no fogging this summer, as a result, the city now has a stockpile of fogging chemicals, which could last another 2 to 3 seasons. Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Poland this morning talking trade and defense.
Standing together, our troops stand together in Latvia at present. And as the Prime Minister alluded to a moment ago, Poland is absolutely essential to the defense of Ukraine.
Carney and Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk are already announcing to work more closely in areas such as defense, aviation, cybersecurity, and clean energy. Canada will also be the lead country at the 2026 International Defense Industry Exhibition in Poland. Carney's trip to Poland comes after making a surprise visit to Ukraine yesterday, marking the country's Independence Day. Carney told Ukrainians peace will come and Canada will be there when it does. Carney also offered a new breakdown of the additional $2 billion Canada pledged during June's G7 summit. The money will count towards Canada's commitment to reach the NATO spending target. It was the perfect day to fly a kite. Hundreds of colorful kites filled the sky over Sri Lanka's capital this weekend for the Colombo International Kite Festival. Participants from about 25 countries took part, with designs ranging from elephants and leopards to pandas and bears. So beautiful. Here's a look at what's happening along the St. James Bridge. It looks like things are still quite light over here. Everything moving quite well.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's telling us about a local market that is happening at the Outlet Collection. And if you're a small business, you need all the support you can get. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. The Summer of Locals is what it's called. There's 5 of them this summer, and we're in the home stretch. It's the last one this weekend. Natalie Ricardo joins us now from the business Anxiety. Now, I was reading it going, anxiety. It is anxiety, but it's you're taking a different form of the word. Explain to our audience what that really means for you.
Yeah, anxiety is meant to be all about self-care and just self-loving in this crazy time. I started anxiety during COVID, so I kind of wanted to turn it into a little positive zone to anxiety and kind of embracing it and turning it into happy things and things that make you feel good about yourself or just jewelry that you have. So, yeah.
And when it comes to that, you have a very diverse collection. What calls to you and for your audience as well?
Lots of things. So what makes me happy is fun things, you know, like funny messages on my rings. Also just things that make me feel good about myself. So I have rings here, I have necklaces, and also intimates that I designed myself. So.
Well, speaking of, and when you said you designed it yourself, I said, are you an artist? So I guess so. There's so many different art forms that we have in this world. So how do you put it together, something like that?
So some of them I design and some of them I wholesale, but the ones that I design, I draw them and then I get the samples. I go through so many samples, it's crazy over time just to find that right one, just with the right colors, the right feeling of lace. Yeah, and then we go from there and then I pick which one I like. So.
And you've themed some of them.
Yes, I have. Some of them are based on different of my favorite movies. I have a Sailor Moon set. I also have a princess, a Cinderella one as well. I just love fairy tales, so I just feel like bringing that with my clothing is just amazing. Just put it together.
Why should people come to this market?
I have been doing this market for 3 years now. I started it when I was so little. It feels like 3 years ago, such a long time ago, but it's so fun. Come, you can grab some food and just shop some super unique pieces all the way around. Cookies, flowers, and of course some fun rings. So definitely come and check it out this weekend.
Alleviate your anxiety with some anxiety. There we go. Perfect.
Thank you. Well, Ottawa's Pride Parade was canceled Sunday after a pro-Palestinian group disrupted the event, calling on organizers and the city's mayor to meet their demands. CTV's Natalie Van Roy reports.
The group Queers for Palestine Ottawa blocking Ottawa's annual Pride Parade Sunday afternoon, bringing the festivities to a halt.
We had staged a disruption of the parade to say our demands to both Capital Pride's executive director and board of directors and to the mayor. We were looking for apologies from the mayor in particular for boycotting last year and for encouraging other powerful institutions to boycott the parade.
The group halted the parade to demand the apology from not only the mayor, Mark Sutcliffe, but also other organizations that pulled out of the Capital Pride events last year when organizers issued a statement condemning Israel.
The mayor said he would not come up and talk to us, and even when communicated that the parade would then disperse if we didn't move, he still refused to come up and talk to us.
In a statement, Ottawa's mayor said in part, "It's deeply regrettable that a group of activists chose to block the parade, ultimately leading Capital Pride officials to cancel the event. My heart goes out to the many people in our city who were deprived of the opportunity to participate in this celebration of joy, resilience, and community. The parade traveled from City Hall along Elgin to Wellington Street, where it was halted by protesters at O'Connor Street.
I am sad I didn't get to march, but I'm definitely way sadder for the people who are experiencing a lot of hardship over in Palestine, and this is a way to get a really good message out.
Speaking before the disruption, Capital Pride's executive director said they were excited for the new route in front of Parliament.
We're really excited that we're reclaiming Wellington. It's a really important place in the 2S LGBTQ+ community for protest. We've got a lot of really important victories won through protesting.
Before the parade was halted, Mayor Mark Sutcliffe said city officials were happy to take part again. Organizers said 175 groups and more than 6,000 people were registered to take part in the event. Natalie Van Roy, CTV News.
All right, we're looking now through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. That's looking a little bit brighter. That's looking off to the west. If we were to look to the east right now, you'd still see some heavier clouds hanging around. I've even been keeping an eye on the drags in the clouds and the showers that we're seeing just off to the east. But our temperatures are starting to warm up now that we're seeing a bit more of that sunshine. 9 degrees at the moment in Winnipeg. We're seeing some double digits in some places like Portage, Dauphin at 10 degrees right now. Kenora is also sitting at 10. We've got 12 degrees in the Morden Winkler area, 11 in Gimli. Over here through the southwest, still a little bit cooler, 7 degrees right now, Melita, Brandon, and even in that very southeastern corner around Sprague. For northern Manitoba, you've been in the double digits for most of the morning, mid-teens. You haven't budged much, but look who has. Thompson has gone from 3 degrees this morning, has warmed up now to 9. And much of northern Manitoba will be enjoying that sunshine today, but through central Manitoba, you can see the heavier clouds, the bit of shower activity, and the possibility that we see a brief passing shower. The chance is certainly there. As far as temperatures go today, northern Manitoba, southern Manitoba will all be in the same zone. So high teens by midday and then pushing up into those low to mid 20s as we're reaching our expected high. Now for northern Manitoba, those numbers are above seasonal. Here in the south, just below seasonal, but barely. 23, that would be a normal daytime high. And while we might miss it today, we'll surpass it for tomorrow and Wednesday, and still seasonal Thursday and mild again for the weekend. So we have that possibility of seeing some precipitation today, but I think there will be a lot more sunshine and a little more heat through the rest of the week. We're taking a break right now, but stick around. We'll be coming back with more on CTV Morning Live.
Good morning. Rail safety experts are issuing a warning after video surfaced showing a young man riding on a moving train in London, Ontario. Now advocates are warning about the rise of similar illegal incidents across the country. CTV's Brent Lale has the details.
Video shows a young man testing out the speed of a moving train in downtown London. Moments later, he returns and jumps on the side, riding it for a few meters.
They were taunting the train, basically, tons and tons of heavy metal, and they were touching it and playing with it.
Christopher Bogle is often the eyes and ears in the city's core. He took out his camera and started recording.
They saw me filming. I even yelled out to the one guy, "You want to lose your leg or what? Or your life?" And he thought it was a joke.
The incident is the third notable one involving rail in the past week. A person was charged with surfing on a Via train in eastern Ontario. Then in White Rock, BC, video showed a woman and multiple children crawling under a stopped train rather than waiting.
Our mission at Operation Lifesaver is to try to get to zero. So 0 crossing incidents, 0 trespassing, 0 deaths, and 0 injuries. And unfortunately, we have some work to do to get to zero.
According to Operation Lifesaver, rail trespassing incidents are up 46% this year over the historical 5-year average. Serious injuries related to rail trespassing are up 250%. A CPKC spokesperson says fines could reach up to $50,000. And climbing and riding train cars and other equipment is both illegal and extremely dangerous. A month away from Rail Safety Week and just days from Western University students returning, safety advocates warn against trying to impress friends or gain social media clicks.
with frost weeks happening. We know that southwestern Ontario has a ton of rail and is a hot spot for incidents. So we are reminding people to do their part to stay safe by staying well back and staying off the tracks.
As for Bogle,
This is almost a deja vu a few years ago.
it was then when he witnessed a woman carry her child over a stop train at this same location. Both incidents could easily have been fatal.
When he did jump off, you could tell he sort of slipped a bit, and that would have been it.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
You love wine and a little VIP luxury? Then this is for you. We're giving away a Champagne Lounge VIP experience to the Winnipeg Wine Festival each week. That's for you and 3 friends at the RBC Convention Centre on September 26th and 27th. Enjoy exclusive wine tastings and support the Special Olympics while you're at it. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and enter the clue word taste. In the heart of Winnipeg's North End, a unique place is helping transform lives and strengthen cultural connections. It's called Urban Circle Training Center, and for more than 3 decades, it's been offering Indigenous-led education and career training. In this month's Commitment to Community, our Ainsley McPhail learns how these programs wouldn't happen without the support of United Way.
From 18 all the way up into their 80s, Urban Circle is helping folks get their education. Haven Stump joins us now to tell us all about it. She's the executive director. Tell us about the many programs you have, Haven.
Good morning. I'm actually going to highlight about our programming here at Urban Circle, and we have 5 particular full-time programs. It starts off with your adult education and employment program, which allows our Indigenous students to get their mature grade 12 diploma. Seven Oaks credits that. The other programs are all credited by Red River College Polytechnic. We have a family support worker, we have a healthcare unit clerk, we have an educational assistant, and our newly early childhood education diploma program. One of the really unique things about this place, it offers other programming on top, which comes United Way. United Way funds our programming, which allows us to have our life skills cultural component and has our elder involved and our students, as well as our money management program. And again, Urban Circle offers these soft skills, these hard skills, to be able to allow our Indigenous students to gain the skills as stepping stones to go out there and further their education or gain employment. This place is definitely a place that changes lives.
From healthcare to trades, students at Urban Circle don't just earn diplomas. They gain confidence, community, and a deeper connection to their heritage. Elders are on site, and programs are designed for real-world careers. One of their students joins me now, Trinity Ducharme-Petrowski. Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
So tell us about what inspired you to come to Urban Circle.
The cultural aspect of the school and the staff here, they're very supportive.
Mm-hmm. And those cultural aspects, what does that really look like in practice when you're at the school?
Well, it teaches us a different approach, an Aboriginal approach into helping our community and our people.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes you even get off campus. Tell us about those experiences.
Yeah, we get to go to our Elder Audrey's Medicine Eagle Camp, where we get to experience sweats and the cultural aspects of it, which a lot of us didn't have growing up, so it's amazing.
Tell us about what you're hoping to pursue after you graduate and what that could look like for you.
Well, I hope to help my community, better build my community, and then take the stuff that I learned from Urban Circle with me into my career in law enforcement.
Mm-hmm. And why would you hope anyone else watching would want to support Urban Circle and all of its benefits?
It's just an amazing school in general. We have lots of cultural aspects. They help us help people, but yet help ourselves too in healing.
Urban Circle boasts an incredible graduation rate of over 85%, and it's all thanks to the support of United Way donors. Ainsley McPhail, CTV Morning Live, Winnipeg.
Commitment to Community is brought to you by United Way Winnipeg, here for Winnipeg.
All right, it has been a cool start to your morning, and I know a lot of people coming off of that cool weekend and an even chillier morning, you're like, where has summer gone? I promise you it is coming back. We've got actually very mild and even above seasonal temperatures through the rest of this week. but the rest of this week, not necessarily today. Today we're sitting at 9 degrees. That's up from 6 earlier this morning. Yeah, you think this is cool? You should have felt it a few hours ago. South-southwest winds, they're on the lighter side, just 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 97%. It is looking a little bit brighter as I glance off to the west. To the east, though, we still have these heavier clouds hanging right over us. The possibility is there that we might even see a scattered shower or two today through central and even southern Manitoba. Northern Manitoba, things will be looking a little bit brighter for you and even above seasonal, although the temperatures that we're expecting across the province are pretty much the same, low to mid 20s. But for northern Manitoba, that's above what you would expect this time of year. Here in the south, maybe just shy of the seasonal 23 degrees. But then tomorrow surpassing it. The rest of this week, we'll be feeling the warmth of it all. Today, yes, a few extra clouds, but even those clouds not likely to last. However, while they're hanging around, we could get clipped with a brief passing shower. Our rainbow today is indicative of what we get to see on the other side of those showers. What a beautiful shot taken out in the Austin area. Thanks to Rebecca for this, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Some Canadian businesses have been expressing relief following Ottawa's pledge to remove retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods. The plan is to remove tariffs on goods covered by the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement by September 1st. CTV's Jeremy Sharon has more on the ongoing trade war.
It's here Canadians will likely feel the most relief come September 1st. In the aisles and at the checkout counter, Canada's decision to drop retaliatory tariffs could be noticeable.
It's been tough. Last few months, some of the companies that we buy from are from the U.S. or bring their products in from the U.S., and the price difference was just crazy.
The move for Margot and James means increased costs, which she says had to be passed on to the consumer, can be reduced again.
I can't wait till that happens. The next order, I'm hoping they'll have adjusted the prices at the companies so I can adjust my prices.
But this small store is just one example.
50% of small businesses in Canada actually import from the United States. So retaliatory tariffs have a real impact on many of them.
The Canadian Federation of Independent Business applauded the government's move to drop counter tariffs, but called for it to be a first step.
What we believe the government needs to do is, of course, try to get the best deal possible as quickly as possible. But in the meantime, they have collected a lot of tariff money. And so that money should be returned in some format to affected businesses.
And the move hasn't come without criticism. In a statement, one of Canada's largest unions, Unifor, said it undermines Canadian workers and weakens Canada's bargaining position in an escalating trade war. Some experts have said it could help negotiations.
By lowering these tariffs, that's a big olive branch that the Canadian government is offering to the United States administration, and that's really critical at this time.
When pressed on it Friday, the Prime Minister offered this.
Do you have any assurances from the Americans that this will kickstart negotiations? Did President Trump specifically say that in his conversation with you?
Yes.
The Prime Minister has indicated Canada and the U.S. have agreed to intensify trade talks, but there is still no indication on a timeline for a deal, which means uncertainty remains the biggest challenge for businesses. Jeremy Sherrill, CTV News, Ottawa.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Good morning. Kids are going back to school next week, and many of them may be expressing worry about the return to the classroom. Back to school anxiety is normal at this time of year, but if it continues in your child, there's steps and help that you can get. Joining us now from My Winnipeg Therapist is licensed clinical social worker Kevin Richardson. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Rochelle.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now,
thanks
kids,
for having me on.
Well, anytime. Kids have probably been talking about their worry already. It's not just going to happen the week before school. It's probably been happening progressively at the later part of the summer, which I know from experience it is indeed what's happening. What are signs of anxiety?
Well, I think some of the ways that it shows up, and again, depends on developmental age, but we can certainly, I would watch for things like irritation, where kids seem a little bit, their mood is a bit off. Certainly avoidance around talking about school or getting ready. Sometimes kids who are looking forward to school will be wanting to get their, school supplies ready and things like that. Kids that are, having more anxiety will probably show things like what we call avoidance, right? They don't want to talk about it, especially if you bring it up, and they say, oh, I don't want to talk about that. Or, phrases like, I hate school, and then that's really kind of opens up the door to explore.
And so as a parent, what should you do?
Well, I think as a parent, I mean, one of the things that I encourage, clients that I'm working with when they're dealing with, issues around their children is be that safe space. So that's kind of being intentional as a parent. I want to be that safe space for my child. And so that really, involves acknowledging that the child is the expert of their experience, not life and not the solutions and all that, but they're the expert of their experience. And so you want to learn from them what exactly it is that is bothering them as much as you can in terms of detail. Because as parents, we want to jump to solutions, we want to help them, because we don't like when they're hurting or afraid, right? So we kind of want to avoid that a bit.
So just listen is the main message, right?
Absolutely.
Let them just express themselves.
Rochelle, that's absolutely right. Listen, and then part of the techniques around that is really you want to validate their experience, right? So at the emotional level, okay, like being afraid in that situation, yeah, that makes sense. I could see that. Or you really want to even show examples. Yeah, when I was in school, so you're kind of normalizing, right? Oh yeah, when I was in school, I was afraid of this. It might not be the exact same thing, but so validating that makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that. And
encourage them to talk to you about their worries, their fears, of course, is a big part of that. Once school has begun and they're in school, how do you know when their anxiety is getting worse and that they need help?
Absolutely, great question. So one of the things you want to do, again, is watching their behavior. And every parent, they know their child. Yeah. And so, how is their behavior? So their behaviors is a big indicator more than what they're going to tell you first. So I'd watch for that. Are they just dumping their backpack at the door and running to their room, and just kind of scrolling or going on their screens? Right. I'd watch for things like that. When you do check in with them, how was school today? Oh, never mind. Or, oh, it was fine. I'd watch, you want to follow up with that, things like that. So I'd watch for things like irritation, because anxiety is fear. Fear is a protective defense. We're gonna be more into that irritation, annoyance, or anger. Yeah. So you want to watch for those. If they're angry, probably some fear behind
Something's going on.
Because it's protective.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing this. Good advice for parents before kids go back to school. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
Yes, thank you. Look at those clouds. We just took the shot and we're like, ooh, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, lots off to the east there with that sky. 9 degrees right now, south-southwest winds, 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 97%. So taking a look, well, from those clouds to our satellite image and the possibility of some of that precipitation. You can see it in areas through central Manitoba. I was seeing earlier some drags in those clouds off to the east. Now just some very cool clouds looking off to the east, but also some sunshine out there. We got a little mix of both. What we don't have are strong winds. They're going to remain very light today. At the moment, they're just a few kilometers per hour, but our throughout the day, winds are expected to only be around 10 kilometers out of the west. That possibility of showers is there. Overall, though, mix of sun and cloud, 22 degrees, nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's slightly shy of seasonal. 23 is normal for this time of year, but it is up a degree or two from the weekend. I know it felt cool over the weekend. We'll continually see things warming up throughout this week, and that includes overnight. This past night, we had dropped as low as 6. This coming night, down to 12, with the clouds and still with those very light winds out of the southwest. Tomorrow's winds will be stronger, but the temperatures will be higher. 26 degrees, mostly sunny, and that breeze at times gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. 25, 23 is normal for this time of year, but for the most part, we're looking to be above seasonal, not just through the week, but into the coming weekend as well.
Thank you, Terry. While nearly all Air Canada operations are back to normal following last week's strike, the battle between the airline and its flight attendants union is far from over. While the two sides recently agreed to a tentative deal, it appears many flight attendants may vote against it. CTV's Kamal Karamali explains.
Things are moving along once again at Toronto's Pearson Airport. A week after a flight attendant strike grounded all Air Canada planes, Alexandra Lalonde is finally able to go home.
I was originally supposed to fly from Pearson to Kelowna, and it was canceled last Saturday. And then kind of same thing as everyone else, it wasn't rebooked, couldn't get through to call.
Air Canada said Thursday it'll cover hotels, meals, and ground transportation for passengers whose travel plans were disrupted.
Air Canada is also being vague and being difficult with passengers who booked their tickets through Airplan or through a travel agency.
While some passengers are still battling Air Canada for compensation, its flight attendants are doing the same when it comes to wages.
Flight attendants are crying.
The airline and the flight attendants union struck a tentative deal Tuesday that would see a 12% wage increase for less experienced employees, an 8% bump for more senior staff right away, and 50% of their hourly wages for 1 hour of work done before takeoff. All of that would see incremental increases over 4 years. And that's getting pushback from some union members.
Now, CTV News has spoken to multiple Air Canada flight attendants who tell us that they are going to vote no on the tentative agreement, saying it doesn't give them enough of a wage increase.
Flight attendants speaking to CTV News anonymously, fearing repercussions from their employer, say they expect most flight attendants to vote against ratifying the deal because it would not allow entry-level workers a decent living wage and doesn't address concerns around payment for a delayed or canceled flight.
It's really, food bank wages and, make people to a living wages. So there's a lot of angst that's being expressed by the flight attendants.
Air Canada declined to comment, but the union told CTV News our members forced the company back to the table with a better offer except on wages. We will respect whatever decision is made by our members. If that decision is to reject the deal, flight attendants can't legally strike. Instead, the wages portion of the agreement would be decided by an independent arbitrator. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
U.S. President Donald Trump now says he wants to send troops to Baltimore and Chicago against the wishes of state and local officials.
We don't have a foreign invasion. We don't have a rebellion.
Democrats in Illinois are threatening to sue if President Trump follows through with the plan to send National Guard members to Chicago. President Trump called Chicago a mess, even though violent crime in the city is down by double digits. His threat to send troops to Baltimore came after Maryland's Democratic governor invited him for a safety walk in the city. The U.S. president has already sent about 2,000 troops to Washington. Video taken last night shows some have even started carrying guns. A statement from the Joint Task Force says the weapons are only to be used as a last resort. According to the White House, hundreds of arrests have been made since troops were deployed to Washington. More than 500,000 people in Vietnam have now been ordered out as a powerful typhoon approaches. This is the strongest storm of the year so far. Forecasters say the typhoon has reached winds of up to 166 kilometers an hour, but is expected to weaken slightly before making landfall later this afternoon. The storm is then expected to move inland into Laos and northern Thailand. Hundreds gathered at Assiniboine Park on Saturday for the annual Walk for Pulmonary Fibrosis, a community event raising awareness for a disease that makes breathing difficult. Organized by the Canadian Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation, this year's walk carried extra weight as wildfire smoke continues to affect air quality across Manitoba. Organizers say the event helps people feel seen and supported.
They said that it's like being with family, like they don't feel alone, that for once they're in a group of people that they don't have to explain what this rare disease is, and that, they can just enjoy and be themselves. As we've learned more and more about this disease, we've realized that there are some families that it runs in their family. And so we're here to support them, to say that we are here to walk every step of the way.
The walk included family activities, free lunch, and a call for better access to medical oxygen, something many patients rely on to breathe. And here's what's happening in traffic along Donald Street. Things are moving well here, no issues to tell you about. If you see any problems out on the streets, though, please let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.38. The provincial average is slightly higher at $1.40. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.43. The lowest price in the city is $1.39. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by KidneyCard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
The Summer of Locals Market is happening one last time this season. Our Ainsley McPhail is now joining us to tell us more about when you can check it out for yourself. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. Whether it's getting a bite to eat or maybe a necklace for a loved one, it's the perfect spot to find local artisans and more. Matthew and Narissa join us once again from the Locals, the storefront inside here. Outside, there's going to be a giant market this weekend. What can people expect?
Yeah, there's something for the whole family. We have bouncy castles, we have local vendors, lots of really good eats. Really, we try to give something for everyone. So yeah, come on down.
And when it's done, I'm kind of teasing this. You've got a fall market coming up as well.
Yeah, we're popping up at St. Boniface Hospital, just in their beautiful atrium there. Just a couple days in October and in December. Same thing, but a little bit more low-key, but still just as great.
And inside, if people want to come inside, you guys support hundreds of local businesses. You guys are one of the businesses as well, though. Tell us about the meaning behind all of these great finds.
So this is our All the Feels collection. We're super proud of this collection, inspired by all the feels entrepreneurs feel on a daily basis. So you'll find emotional, good enough, overthinker, okay-ish, trying, and overstimulated. So part of the proceeds for this collection gets donated to the Mental Health Association that supports entrepreneurs. So yeah, that's our collection.
I think that this should be for journalists as well. I think we should be able to piggyback off of that. That's awesome. When it comes to supporting local, it's in the name. And we talk about this so much, but what does it really mean to you guys from the standpoint of having lived it?
Yeah, I think people don't really get the full picture, if you're not in it. But if you have a local business, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of risk, and it needs a lot of support. So that's what we try to do for everyone. And really, especially with our markets, it's been such a hit, and we love doing it.
You guys have seen thousands in terms of foot traffic. Before we're at a time, why should someone come?
To support local. Literally, one purchase can make a difference to a small business. It feeds family, it keeps the community going. So that is a big push for us to support local.
I'm going to say it one more time. Support local. The Summer of Locals Market. It's happening this weekend. We'll have a link on our website with more details.
Thank you, Ainsley. Out on the rooftop now. How's it feeling out there, Terry?
Still feels a little bit cool, not gonna lie about that. And I still can't see a whole lot of sunshine. I mean, I know it's there. Because the sun is always there consistently. We never have to worry whether or not it's actually there, but I can't see much of it. I can see the glow of it behind the clouds. They're not so heavy. It's not completely overcast. And in fact, there's pockets of blue sky out here this morning. But yes, our temperature has still not reached seasonal values for this time of year for our lows. That would be around 10. And we had dropped as cool as 6 degrees earlier this morning. We're slowly making some gains, but still a ways to go. South-southwest winds, they're 3 kilometers per hour. They're going to remain very light throughout the day today. So the winds won't be strong. The sun will peek out from behind the clouds at times, though there is the possibility of a few brief scattered showers. It'll be a slim chance, and if we do see it, it'll be, like I said, very brief. 22 degrees is where we're headed today. 23, that's normal for this time of year. So while we might not get to those seasonal temps today, we'll be surpassing it through the rest of the week. There's still a nice little blast of summer for the last week of unofficial end of summer, with the long weekend arriving this coming weekend. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back for more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Usually a film goes from the theater to a streaming service, but Netflix has just done the reverse, and with a built-in audience and chart-topping soundtrack. K-pop Demon Hunter is shot straight to the top. CTV's Andrea Case reports.
Time. The world will know you as pop stars.
No kidding. The hottest movie on the small screen is now the hottest movie on the big screen.
But you will be much more than that.
K-pop Demon Hunters took the top spot at the box office, giving Netflix its first ever #1 film in theaters.
The bigger screen, more action. Everything was good about it.
What's your favorite part?
It was all really good.
Released on the streaming service on June 20th, the crowd pleaser tells the story of 3 young women, K-pop stars in a group called Huntrix, and secretly, they are demon hunters.
They're stealing the souls of our fans?
I really like the song Golden, but it scared me a little.
How come?
It's because, like, the demon stuff.
In theaters, K-pop Demon Hunters was a communal affair, turning the musical into a collective sing-along. At a screening at Netflix-owned Tadam Theater last week in Los Angeles, some in the crowd could not contain their excitement. And in Toronto,
this just revived back a childhood love of like animation with good soundtrack that you can sing along like and loop it over and over and over again.
But now that I've seen it, I'm definitely just going to put this on blast when I go back home.
in North America, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK, K-pop Demon Hunters was only released in theaters for one weekend. Music is one of the reasons the film has been so popular. The song Golden topped the Billboard charts last week. 2 other songs are in the top 10.
My favorite part about the movie is the songs. I've listened to them a lot to the point of annoying my family.
I sang along. I did some random harmony on it.
The film was created and co-directed by Canadian Maggie Kang, a graduate of Sheridan College, and 2 of the songs were co-written by Calgary's Jenna Andrews. There are rumors of a second and third film, and could a live-action stage show be far behind?
I've seen it like 30 times, honestly.
Why do you keep coming back for more?
Because I love the songs so much, and the animation, and the storyline in general. I love all of it.
The summer learning slide happens when kids have been away from the classroom for weeks. Education experts say children can lose a bit of knowledge or skills when they aren't doing regular reading or writing during the summer break. And with back to school right around the corner, it's not too late to get back on track before they go back. Joining us now from Tutor Bright is Chelsea Arns. Good morning, Chelsea.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining us. Now, summer learning slide is indeed a real thing. It sort of puts the kids a little bit behind in their learning. So where they left off at the end of the year, they're sort of behind from that. And then they go back and teachers have to sort of do a catch-up, right?
Yeah, it can take typically 1 to 2 months to get the students caught up to where they're supposed to be for the next grade level. Okay. So it's definitely a thing.
So you can do things like even right now to get them back on track. How do you do that?
Yeah, well, I think for some of our younger learners, even just getting them writing in their journals or reading. We've got some really amazing books on display today. Going to the library or their favorite bookstore and having the children pick out a book that they want to read themselves, right, and topics that they're interested in. So that can really help. If your student is a little bit older, if maybe they struggled last year, maybe doing a little bit of like some concept reviews, just reviewing some of the topics that they had learned last year to refreshen up their brains.
And, you know, maybe get off the tablets, get off their phones.
Oh, yeah. If, like my kids and my family, I know a lot of other families, kids have been spending a lot more time on their screens and on their tablets this summer. And so removing some of that screen time, doing a bit of a detox will really help the children to be more focused, be more attentive at school. They'll be better behaved. They will be more patient. And the number one thing is they'll have to communicate more, right? And practicing communication with their friends and with their parents will help them to be better communicators at school with their teachers.
Okay, and you're already getting calls from parents who are proactively trying to book some spots for their kids to help them along. Yeah. What's another thing parents can do at home to get them ready for the return to the classroom?
I think just getting them excited about what they've got, who their teachers are, who their friends are, but I think as well having a conversation with your child about what the weeks are going to start looking like, right? Like summer's so relaxed, but having your child set up an agenda can teach them time management and organization, but knowing like, okay, when do I have music classes? When do I have sport classes? When do I have homework? When do I, have free time? So getting them involved in scheduling out their days and their weeks is really important. And then I think as well, setting goals and expectations about what they want their school year to look like. So what did they enjoy about school last year, and what did they struggle with? And what goals do they have, and how are we going to move forward to achieve those goals? If it's to become a better reader or to get a higher mark in math, knowing what educational supports are out there. So even us at Tutor Bright, like we will come to your home, we'll tutor in any subject from kindergarten to grade 12 in English and in French, and we'll work around the family's schedule. So being proactive about what educational supports are there within the classroom, communicating with the classroom teacher, knowing how to communicate with your child's classroom teacher and opening those doors up is also a really great thing to do at the start of the year.
I love the agenda idea, but you're recommending also having a space in your home where they can see it, a calendar that shows the week right away.
Oh, it's great for families with busy children, having a space where you've got all of your activities laid out, everybody knows what's going on, everyone's on board, and then also having a space for your child where they are set up for success when it comes to homework or studying, a spot that is, you know, low distractions or no distractions, well lit, place where they can do their homework and do their studying.
Chelsea, thank you for all this advice. It's going to get our kids back on track before they go back to school. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Yeah, right around the corner, isn't it? Summer's been flying by. And then we had this cool weather over the weekend, and I feel like a lot of people were wondering if summer is over. No, not yet. It was cool over the weekend. That would be accurate. And it was cool this morning. In fact, we started out at 6 degrees. We have now made some gains. 9 degrees is where we're sitting. Still a very cool sky with those clouds out there. South-southwest winds, they're on the lighter side, just 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 97%. Now taking a look at the satellite image, more than clouds, the possibility of some scattered precipitation. You can see it moving there through central Manitoba and a little more just off to the east. I've been keeping an eye on that. Every time I go up to the rooftop, you can kind of see those drags in the clouds. Even here in Winnipeg, the possibility of a brief passing shower, but pleasant temperatures, warmer than the weekend, not quite seasonal, 23 degrees. That would be a normal daytime high, and we'll likely end up just shy of that, around 22 today, but a little warmer overnight than this past night was, and a little warmer for tomorrow and even the next day. 26, 25 degrees with some sunshine in the days ahead. I mentioned what would be normal for this time of year, around 23 degrees, and for the most part this week will either be seasonal or above, and that includes this coming weekend with plenty of sunshine ahead. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center.
Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Before we say goodbye, we're going to show you some fun video. Who says beach days are just for humans? Check this out. Gatsby the kitty is beating the heat by running along this sandy beach at low tide. He's also looking cool in his pineapple sun hat, the perfect accessory for a beach day.
Okay, that was surprising and unexpected. When you said that, I assumed it was going to be a dog.
Well, here's some family fun for you. There's your dog, Terry. This is a pile of dogs. This mama was sitting quietly when all of a sudden all 6 of her pups run in and jump on her. Lots of tail wagging and kisses in the puppy pack, except for the one sitting on the couch watching all the action.
Oh my goodness. I mean, the puppies are cute, but when Ma just needs a break.
She's just rolling her eyes. And finally, we all want to head into the week like these guys. Fennel and Onyx are black-nosed sheep that are very hoppy. It's Monday. They can't contain themselves. They jump and run and chase their owners without a care in the world. They're so sweet. That ends it for us. Have a good day.